Check it out. Carrying my torch, travel through the dark. Nobody is going to save you now.
Down of our species still on for long enough. Underneath the beat subliminals. Truly what the fuck I call it what it is, man. Yo, it's wicked as fuck. How long you gonna let them mess you up with this stuff? I'll make sure you understand every word that I say. We don't consent. Straight the fuck up means it's not okay. When the time with you is up, so you better make way. I'll perpetuate the ignorance you be forever. Braving out the fam. Stay original shamans and ambassadors. Fucking with the layers, this is disruptors and the challenges. The system of the guy up on perfect like her calibers. Always feel the truth with no other parameters. Without judgment, know when it's best to become passengers. Also when they take the helm and be sort of a balance. Stay calm when everyone around like there's a massacre. Gigawatts of time travel like the flux capacitor.
Carrying my torch, travel through the dark.
Obtain heartbreak coherence, then you'll become the spark. We're here to elevate, and of course we're the sons of the sun. Yo, we knock this shit out the park.
Carrying my torch, travel through the dark.
Obtain heartbreak coherence, then you'll become the spark. We're here to elevate, and of course we'll leave them all. Sons of the sun, yo, we knock this shit out the park.
Nobody is going to save you now.
I can't see, I'm surrounded by dark. By consequence, my consciousness ignites the spark. Who am I? Do I even exist? This time I think I'll transform inside the matrix. Karmic tricks, release for the shift, then realize the lies, cause it all lies inside. You can't stop the truth when its time has arrived. This time is one, creators we rise. Separated we tried, I can't understand what's real. It's hard to feel, they modified the deal. The darkness isn't evil, but what's inside has eyes. But so do I, let's grow wings and fly. I'm inspired to try, despite the odds we die. 7 billion ways, this time we decided to stay. To set the stage as I glide through space. Like the Silver Surfer, I came here to ride the wave.
Carrying my torch, travel through the dark.
Obtain heartbreak coherence, then you'll become the spark. We're here to elevate, of course we're sons of the sun. Yo, we knock shit out the park.
Carrying my torch, travel through the dark.
Obtain heartbreak coherence, then you'll become the spark. We're here to elevate, of course we'll leave them all. Sons of the sun, yo, we knock this shit out the park.
Carrying my torch, travel through the dark.
Obtain heartbreak coherence, then you'll become the spark. We're here to elevate, of course we'll leave them all. Sons of the sun, yo, we knock this shit out the park.
Carrying my torch, travel through the dark.
Obtain heartbreak coherence, then you'll become the spark. We're here to elevate, of course we'll leave them all. Sons of the sun, yo, we knock this shit out the park.
Carrying my torch, travel through the dark. Check it out. Nobody is going to save you now. Carrying my torch, travel through the dark. Nobody is going to save you now.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving to an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new stage of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of music group Psychedelic and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of nights, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless.
Check it. Check it out.
Hey. What is up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme. It's good to be back with everyone. Shout outs to the Fearless family. I am really happy to be back. Happy first day of autumn. The solstice is upon us. I hope you can hear everything nice and loud and clear because I got plenty to say today. And well, we'll get into it in a minute. First, I want to say thank you for all those that have shown your support for me and Kev in Sons of the Sun. I had to take a break to learn video editing, production, all kinds of weird stuff that I was not aware I would ever need to know on any level. It was crazy. We can't rely or depend on anyone but ourselves at the moment. So better in my hands or Kevin's hands than anyone else's. So I had to take a break from going live and doing stuff so I could really dig in. It was like getting a new job and having to figure out what the hell is going on in the midst of a million other things happening. Obviously, we are going through some serious upgrades, and you know, a lot of the people speaking say the same thing. One of the things I would just shout out and say all the time is we're 2 weeks ahead. We're always, you know, we're a little bit ahead of the wave when it hits us. And that's been true. And everyone else is starting to catch up. That's relevant. I don't think at this stage I'll be waking anyone up. I don't think I'll be helping on that level. I don't feel it in my heart. I don't see it. If I can't help my mother or my brother on the level I think I would need to help anyone or anything, I'm sure as hell not going to affect every single person I come into contact with. I try to just be me all the time. We're at a stage of the game now where it's a wrap. My understanding on the whole thing at this point is to live more, right? We're at that stage where you meet the master and the master tells you love yourself more. And you're like, I traveled 9,000 miles to get here. You know, I spent 2 weeks drinking ayahuasca. I walked the mountain. I've been breathing like Wim Hof. I did all this shit and I get here. And this is what you have to tell me. And he's like, well, obviously you need work. Right. So I'm taking the time to make the work. I'm taking the time to reset, get in touch with myself, learn something new. I mean, I started learning piano. I learned chords, which was good. And then I had to take a break from that. Then I had to relearn, I can't even believe I'm admitting this, how to do hip hop from being away for so long, for not doing music for such a long time. It was bothering me. I had to reinsert myself into it. And then the more I inserted myself into things like cooking, I love to cook now. It's a big thing, especially around here. We like to cook big meals. When I insert myself full time to it and just give myself to it, it presents back to me more blessing back to me, right? More just comes back. So this is practice, right? We're in the, I don't even want to call it practice. We've been practicing the whole time, and now it's the game, and now you have to live that way and to provide yourself with the opportunities to pay attention and focus on the shit you want important to you, right? shout out to everyone's higher self, because you're all talking to me right now at the same time. I have a lot going on that I'm going to tell you about. I got a couple stories. I got a couple interesting ones. I got some real interesting stuff. And then I got your basics. But I want to cover a few things because now it's building up to too much. I wanted to go live last week. And then when I want to tell you the upgrades are brutal, fucking brutal. And the lessons that are being learned are on another level, right? Then, like our garden, we experienced every mistake that you could make. And Paula is really good at all this stuff at the beginning of the season. Mistake after mistake after mistake, right? I tried growing some weed, mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, because it's legal now, right? You're just like, oh, I'm going to grow a plant. Let me see what the fuck happens. Okay. Nothing worked. Nothing. Things took. Nothing created fruit of any or buds of any kind. It was like, yo, what is going on? All the way to figure things out. I don't really know how this occurred. I watched it and I don't have a full I have an understanding of it, but it's hard to explain it to everyone. I like watched me do things one way and then none of it worked, even though it was the way that always worked. It always worked. It always did its job. Didn't do its job this time. Something was different. There was like an energetical difference with everything. It's like that loop came back around and now we're here to learn it a new way, or the right way, or the ways we were doing are no longer useful to us. But planting a seed is planting a fucking seed, right? Apparently not. So I watched throughout the season, just you're ready to give up at this point. You're like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this no more. This is a waste of my time. Why would I even go to look to buy acreages of land to even plant some hemp, which things called weed just grows like weed. And if you have a problem growing something that literally grows like weed, maybe you should try something else. That's what I kept thinking this. And then one day something else happened. We moved some stuff around, cleaned out some pots, got different kind of soil. I'm trying to think of the things we did. I got some, I don't know if I'm saying this right, 4x4x4, like the stuff you could sprinkle on stuff to give them a little nutrients. I stayed away from certain things like a Miracle Grow type stuff. Not that I was using that before. I was like, let me just, when you go to Home Depot, that's all they're offering is mostly that. So I'm like, well, let's just not get that one and try this one and try not using the expensive cocoa and try using this instead. And we changed it up. Hold on one second. Come on. That's all right. I'm live, just so you know. That's my sister. How you doing? It's all right. It's all right. Paula didn't know either. As soon as she walked out, I was like, let's do this.
There you go.
Sister Rose. Right. So we try to hey, shout outs to Baz. I see you're in the room with us. So I miss you, my brother. So we start to, all right, I'll tell you exactly what I did, because this was a weird fucking process. I don't even understand what made me change my process. It's just I woke up one day, it was like I was dreaming it, and then the dreams were becoming the actual, it was like playing out in front of me like the next day, or then it's really weird. So I actually pulled stuff out, changed pots, put stuff that runs in an area where it could run. We don't really have too much room. We put up stakes a certain way. We decided to grow up and around. We decided to trellis and net. I mean, there's all these little things. Then we were like, all right, well, we got everything. Now we redid it. I stuck my hands in the dirt. And I want to call it soil. I think dirt is shit dirt. And then soil is like what you make, what you can create, what can grow, what can make something turn into more. All right, just close the door on the way out. Love you. All right, so shout out to Ra is in the room. Ra, you, my brother, you are killing it on all levels. Your information is perfecto, el perfecto. And you got to check out he's got crystal skulls and all kinds of crystals. If you want, Rob, post up in here your website, Exploring the Ka with Ra. I don't remember the website, but go there and check out his crystals. Top of the line stuff. I'm not even bullshitting you. Also, shout outs to everyone with crystal skulls. They're sending out information like crazy right now, which is beautiful. It has been wonderful. Shout outs to Fearless Island. All right, so I stuck my hands in. Paula stuck her hands in. We literally picked things up, shook the roots out, and it was the weirdest thing. I noticed that the roots reminded me of my nervous system. It was these weird things were occurring to me, and I've always not been a fan of having dirty hands, and I've had dirty hands, and I don't care. I've learned to just get dirty and not care, but clean up later. Like I don't sleep dirty, but getting your hands in it, getting in up to your neck, and then diving down and seeing what's down there. I know that sucks sometimes, and it's rough, and sometimes you get bit by things, and I had a spider bite. I wanted to murder all jumping spiders, to realize that when I changed my thought, if you're not in the house, a jumping spider, because they bite you and they attack you. I looked up at what a jumping spider was, and actually it's very beneficial to one degree or another. You don't want to be overrun by these things. However, we got a little forest going on outside, and I went to smash one with my fist. It was right on the wall next to me, and I says, "Oh, you're going to get it." And then it did like this thing, and it like jumped back to me. And then I felt like it was explaining to me like, "Oh, don't crush me. I'm going to eat some of these things you don't want around here. How's that? I won't bite you." And I said, "All right, cool." And then it jumped away. Usually they're angry and aggressive and jump at you. So all these little things were occurring. Everything started to bloom, blossom, and then we've had multiple harvests already. Not really enough to be like, yeah, but so much more than what it was. You would be like, wow, how did that even happen? Right? So including the tent, with the plant, I got one growing. It's gigantic. It's already blooming and doing its thing. I'm like, yeah, wow, this is great. If you want to learn technique and skill, like you have to invest that time into it. And honestly, you get so tired sometimes and so worn out and beat up that you don't want to explain it to anyone. I've been explaining things for the last couple of years. I've been doing a lot of science with my online presence, except for going live. And I realized on Twitter, I have something funny. It's like I used to have 11,000 or 14,000 people on Twitter that were following me. Just check it. It's just science. I watched that drop to just below 4,000 over 11 years. Which is really weird, right? So over 11 years, this is what happened to me on Twitter. I don't really go on there as much, but now I'm on there. I'll explain. So I go and I'm checking the people that are following me because I'm barely getting a response from people, right? I'm like, okay, so hold on. I'm like, there's got to be more people than the same 3 or 4 people on here. Obviously, I know some people, maybe they're not, but now we're in the thousands. So I'm like, let me just take a look. Never looked. Okay, out of these 3,900 or whatever people, I'm telling you, I want to say more than 50% is definitely bots. More than 50. And then maybe 20% more are fake girl profiles for like, all kinds of ads for sex and all weird stuff. So I've been trying to rebreathe life around these NPCs. And then when they're saying, oh, it's 15% bots. No, it's like 80%, maybe 90%. It's the people that we know that are on there, and then now add so many more times what we are that, 80% of them are fake. Because remember, people are making profiles as well. AI is constantly doing it. So another ridiculousness. I'm just gonna rant into all this. I watched The Munsters last night, the Rob Zombie movie. I made it halfway in and shut it off. Dead entertainment, dead information, things that are not funny. Then I go online today and it shows up on my Facebook feed. The Monsters, whatever. So I go right to the comments to check. I want to see what's going on here. And I realized every single person on there said it was the greatest cinematic experience they've ever had. Really? I had to walk away. I was embarrassed because it needed a fucking laugh track because it was so stupid. It was terrible. I thought some of this other shit was terrible. Moon Knight and a few of these other movies, like they're just terrible. And then you go on and it's all people, oh, it's the greatest experience ever. And then one guy somewhere in there, like, it was the worst experience I've ever had in a movie theater. I wasted my money. I want to slip my fucking wrist after wasting my life with this. So obviously there's a lot of fake people. And there's not as many real people. Now, I'm not calling any of you fake. I'm not calling any of you NPCs. So today I'm watching She-Hulk because I fucking love superheroes. For all of you, I'm about to attack Disney. So just so you know, it's a heads up. And I'm going to not attack anyone for their disrespect at me today. For actually, I got some online presence today. I took a photo while watching the show. Paula and I love to just do foot soaks with the ionizer. So we're like cleaning our systems out. We like smoke some weed, drink some coffees or waters or whatever, and we watch like a half-hour show. So we're watching She-Hulk. During the show, her girlfriend is wearing for the entire show, pretty much the entire the second half of the show. Sorry, she's wearing red, and then so this has been an ongoing argument today. It was a pentagram, or was it a pentacle, or was it the Star of David? Now, I thought she was wearing a chain the first 2 seconds I saw it, and I was like, oh, she must be Jewish. Well, it was just a thought I had in my head. And I watched the first clip part, and then I said to Paul, do you see what she's wearing? So she goes, no, I don't see nothing. I came back to her in another scene, and it's still in the pentagram position. So I said, why hasn't her chain moved? She obviously jumped off the table. She ran across the room. She started talking to all these people. It was the lawyer's assistant. And she has like this huge part, right? And she's not bad or evil or whatever. And I wasn't trying to say certain things, but to elicit a response, I did. Specifically post demonic pentagram, demonic. Not that all pentagrams are demonic. It's like the use of it, right? So it's like the Nazis using the Nazi symbol, but that's really the symbol of peace from Ganesha. But if I pulled that out and put it on my chest, you would scream at me Nazi. So we get into this stupid argument, right? So now witches and wizards and fucking people and coming out of the background, right? Like, look, I'm not trying to insult religions. If your religion relies on a sigil that you use to conjure things, not really my problem. If you use it to work with nature, beautiful. If you don't, right? What am I supposed to tell you? Obviously, Disney is fucked up in so many ways and is doing crazy stuff. I'm watching her chain and it doesn't move. So it's locked into that position. So I said, okay, I watched the whole thing twice, just with her, on purpose, slow, to make a point to myself and to Paula, to what we were watching. And we were really into it. I said, let's take a look. And then I said, is that it looks like multiple stars and a pentagram. Now, if she was on a chain, and it was hanging from the 2 points, it would hang proper. It would hang with the point at the top. But it wasn't doing that. Every time she moved, it was like as if it was attached to her shirt, but looked like a chain. So it was always the pentagram. Right. So all I did was snap a picture of the screen and said, look, there's another classic example of Disney using it. Now, I felt it being used on me. I told you guys once, and it's rough. I got to talk about this stuff so many times, and it breathes new awareness into it, which is what I'm not trying to do, but have to discuss it because it's important. Sabrina the Teenage Witch was literally casting spells and doing rituals on the fucking show. Literally. We watch WandaVision in Marvel, the Multiverse of Madness with the Book of the Damned. They're literally casting spells and rituals. Now, sometimes they're saying, I'm casting a spell and a ritual. We're doing magic on you. Other times, the symbol just pops up and spins, right? Okay, the color of it is denoting the shade of where they're going with it, because it could go any color. You could have it turn blue and green and orange, but it's always red when it's being used for evil for some strange reason. I figured that it has to do with those lower chakra things, right? The lowest point, we get it from there and it works its way up. So like someone like the Scarlet Witch, they call it hex, right? So it spins around her hand, just like Doctor Strange. When he puts up the shield, you see those symbols on the shield, right? Okay, those symbols are spinning and creating a shield for him out of the speed, the rotation, the vibration, the frequency through the magic is what causes it to be a shield and not a dragon or a car or something else, right? Okay. So Scarlet Witch, when she does this and she's taking over minds, has the same symbol spinning in the other direction, doing the exact same thing. So then you call out people like those demonic little twins. Can't remember anyone's name right now. And the girl that actually plays the Scarlet Witch, she has two sisters and they're twins. They're little demons, right? So then you see the girl that's playing the Scarlet Witch, obviously in real life is a witch. She's got things going on. We've seen it across the board with Hollywood. We've seen the rites and the rituals all be just thrown at us. Now, for the uninitiated and unaware, you're officially initiated and still unaware, more so because now the magic's working. And you're agreeing to it because you're, according to the ones doing it at you, is you should be aware. And if you're not aware, then it's unfortunate what the fuck happens to you. So my calling it out as demonic on Disney is bringing a point that Disney's been fucking playing demonic games for quite a long time. I'm just using simple examples. We could go back to fucking Pinocchio, literally the pedophile island, and the magic and becoming a real boy, and all those boys being fucking pediddled, right? All right. Oh boy. So I got a lot of people defending Disney today by defending it against religious factors or whatever they personally think, and then attacking me on it. And I'm here just to explain a few things. I only put that there is because that's what they were using it for. Because if you watch the series, but I won't watch the series because I know better. Okay, then you shouldn't be commenting. If you think it makes witches look bad, you should be mad that somebody's using your fucking symbol to do something bad. What are you mad at me for? For pointing it out? For pointing out that they're using it in a shit way? So I asked my guides, should I talk about this? And they were like, I got a guide. I call him Dave, right? I go, Dave, what's the deal, bro? I'm just asking you because you're another character. You're not like my highest self. Maybe you are a piece of me, but obviously I don't think you are. And he says they put demons in babies. Why do you think they do that? That's literally what they're doing. I know, right? What's the matter? You don't like the demon baby thing? No, me neither. This is why we're talking about it. So that's their ultimate goal, is to make you initiate to it. So my brother argued with me once, bro, I don't pay attention to any of this shit. So it doesn't affect me in every level, while he's complaining about everything wrong with this world, with his life, with everything. So he was drinking a Diet Pepsi. So I said to him, I'm a federal food inspector, retired, injured, right? What you're drinking is straight fucking poison. But because it's me, obviously he's like, well, I don't want to be fucking gain weight, so I'll drink a Diet Pepsi. While walking into a fucking building shaped like a fucking sigil, walking in Manhattan on the chessboard shaped like the circuitry meant to harvest soul energy to the demonic directions. Archonic, demonic, it's all the same shit. You want to argue potato, tomato, and all this other shit, saying that it gives us a bad name. Well, no, I don't give you a bad name. You not doing nothing and letting them do that to you is you giving you a fucking bad name. How's that? I'm just pointing it out. I don't need any of your religious overtones and or sigils. I am literally the walking one. Awareness is key. You point something out, attack the guy that pointed it out. Not the blood-sucking parasite putting it on the fucking TV for millions. That is so fucking funny. It is so fucking funny you say that. Want to know why Twilight's so yummy? Because there's nothing like having these parasitic little fucking tweenies sucking on you for life. Right? Oh, but it's so sexy. Turn me into you. You're a fucking piece of shit. Get out of here. The fuck out of here, you vampires and your blood-sucking parasites. What is wrong with you? You're literally the creator, the all. So you argue with the all inside these little weird pockets. You should, instead of being the all, where you would just realize what the obvious game is and go, okay, that's, you know, obviously that's what you're trying to say, is that they're using it for bad purposes. Okay, but all that being said, it all of a sudden drove traffic to me. I haven't been able to drive traffic to me in a while. I'm going to tell you something funny. Every time now, I'm watching all my statistics in the background. I'm watching everything grow and die, and mind you, this has to be happening to you. All of you that are trying to get word out or trying to get a business out. If you're not paying Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, when I put up I am we are fearless posts, no one sees it. Why? Because no one cares. This was the thing I was wondering. And even if it was, it's not going to bother me. The problem is that no one sees that. Why? Because it's a website and you're directing something off the website and you're not paying them to do something like that. So no one's going to see that. So it's knocked right to the bottom. Period. It's the algorithm doing that. So I'm on Spotify. We gained 16 listeners, right? It's very small. We're doing it from the beginning and I'm not embarrassed. All of a sudden I wake up one day and there's three listeners. And I go, that's physically impossible. There's 5 of us in the house, all on Spotify, listening to their different Spotify accounts. And then everyone has already followed and is part of this, has loved, like hit the like. So I go, that's possible. And I didn't even get to Kev yet and his people. Then you find out that the whole thing's fucking rigged. The AI system in Spotify, the Spotify owners create artists using the AI. And then these are artists you'll never see, but they'll be in the top 20. And then you'll be like, oh, these artists are good. They're scouring us as the artist, our music, and then creating music based on that in all genres. And then putting those up against major label competition. If the label wants in on it, you have to pay Spotify to be on their fucking playlist and stuff, which they're very open about. So they're developing fake musicians and then putting a whole thing up and you think they're real. and then you're up against them in the top tiers. And if you want in on the goods, you got to pay. It's basically extorting back the third party, that the industry that they were fucking up to begin with, thus putting artists like myself and many others out there into these negative numbered positions. So there are people who live and die by this shit. So there were people committing suicide, young artists, and people were like, why are they killing themselves? They literally making music, having a good time. And they, in their writings, they talk about their Spotify being all right. So there's this thing, if you have like less than 1,000, whatever the fuck this means, when that's on there, it's like the dead zone for the song. There's like millions and millions and millions of artists out there that have great music that have all got that. And that affects young people. Like, I have no chance to do this. You're telling me if I do everything you're telling me, at least I'll get up in the mix at one point or another. Like, you'll be shuffled in somehow. And that's not true. So basically, we're driving people to Spotify or to YouTube or whatever, and we get nothing for it. Minimal stuff based on AI algorithms and what they think and believes it should do to however the fuck they work it. And we all know how the AI works itself like that. Shout outs to everybody in the chat room. Yeah, the AI rapper they had to get rid of because it kept saying the N-word every 5 minutes, but it was developed by a white dude. Oh, boy. All right, so I'm just checking the room and see if there's anything in there. I love you guys so much. I'm not here to fight with anyone, convince anyone. I don't care anymore. I'm noticing how this works. The idea is to science this. And I talked about that a lot, and I'm not embarrassed and I'm not ashamed. You know, there's degrees of sucking, and then there's degrees of, oh, it could hit, or degrees of this. How many people have to pay for their business if you're just going to promote it, stick it on Instagram? You'll get nothing. You get nothing out of it. You start paying into the system a little bit, and all of a sudden it starts blowing out. Not even by that much. How many fucking people follow you on Facebook or Twitter and that don't see your stuff? Why? So if I type, whenever I post in Fearless Family, if I type inside of Fearless Family, this is why I don't post with any attachment or nothing. I just send whatever over, like, hey, check this out. If it goes past like 2 or 3 lines, they say something went wrong, try again later. This has been going on for over a year. They took away my ability to tag, and do a whole bunch of stuff. I don't give a fuck. I just noticed it the other day. So I'm trying, though, to live a life, right? I'm on a fixed income and then create a business, right? We do the talk show, we do Fearless, which isn't really, I think it's all the music, the talk, having a website with some t-shirts and, you know, some support stuff. That's all great. It's like part of what you're supposed to have, but I'm not really out there promoting it like, go buy it and do this and that. But people are really going out there going, buy this, buy that. And they get nowhere with it. And I'm noticing as well as they're like, there must be something wrong with me. Maybe my product suck. Maybe I suck or whatever. No. Hold on. If you're in a system where it's like 10 against 1 on purpose in favor of like celebrities or anyone pushing agendas, right? Sometimes you see the stupidest shit and it's like the most important things. And then you see other stuff and you're like, oh, that's old. Why am I just seeing this now? They're hiding information and stacking it on us. They're changing the information digitally. The AI, it's been reported, one of the first things it did was, I think we spoke about this the last time, it started creating sigils, its own sigils. It learned magic, like real magic, the reality of it, and then started creating its own sigils, started using them. Oh, it's correcting. Let's say they put sigils out and they don't want yours to work. So they shift it to the left a little bit, metaphorically. The AI picks up on that and recorrects it. So it's like, whoa, you're basically creating a Terminator that can cast magic spells? How does that work? How does that even fucking work? Like, I don't even understand that, but that you can do. If they can do it, why can't you do it? You realize that the AI system, even though it's a completely different thing, the electricity that runs through it is the same source electricity that runs through you. It's the same thing. So you can't say, well, it's consciousness it's pushing through. It's literally conscious. Saying it's artificial is weird because it's not really artificial. It's built in mechanics and etherics that we're unaware of on so many levels, right? Like the AI takes the form of the octopus with tentacles. I ask you why. Why does it come in certain shapes? Why does it attack in certain ways? Right? It's because it looks at the entire thing and goes, you know, which creature is literally the best to hunt these guys. And then I'll just become that and attack them. That's how this worked. Right? Don't shoot the messenger. Go in and see it for yourself. You know, for a lot of you witches and warlocks and people of other faiths, you're just going on some stuff sometimes. I had a giant argument. I was trying to make a point about Space Jesus and things they were using the Bible as reference points that they were just overshooting. I was like, this is some bullshit right here. So I go, y'all realize the Bible is a controlled system book, right? The book is a control system. 100%. Yes, there's knowledge in there, but if it's 60-40, it's leading you down the wrong path. Well, why is it 60-40, Frank? Because it's been rewritten over 1,000 times. Who the fuck rewrote it? You're not even questioning who the fucking guy King James is, but you're quoting it left and fucking right, and you'll burn and hang someone for it. Stupid as stupid does. Space Jesus is not impressed. Jeez, give it a break. And once again, I got tagged and targeted by a bunch of people. And I said, whoa. I never said Jesus was a problem. I'm saying the book is the problem. And once again, you're so wrapped into it, but you do nothing to go experience it. Nothing. I'm a shaman. You do nothing to go experience it. All right. The majority that are just, I do this and I know for a fact that what are you doing? What have you actually done to go experience that? Right. I have my way of doing it. Right. I use heavy dose psychedelics when I need to, and very light doses when I need to, like a vitamin, to make me more attached to the spiritual on every level. Then while I take that information and play it out here in the 3D going into the 4D. So it's kind of hard to argue points. You're just using language against me or so you feel better. And that's wrong. There are a lot of perspectives out there, right? It seems like we never get anywhere. You know, one of the things I was telling Della this earlier, I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them. So everything is behind, although going strong. Everything is in favor of the light. Yes, it is. Everything's still going on behind the scenes. Yes, it is. People are still waking up to a certain degree. Kind of. Not the way they were supposed to. So then what's going on? Well, it's taken a lot longer. No, they're not waking up. It's like no one gives a shit. That's your own problem at this point, though. Like someone like me does not care about the people that feel that way. Well, I don't give a shit. Don't give a shit over there. You could literally, I'm not offending you. I'm not trying to offend you. Just take your ears in your life and get the fuck away from me. Right? Because you're offensive to me because you're me and I'm you. And you won't even try to attempt to anything literally anything. They cut the bushes down out here. And there's a very transient place over here. And man, they be throwing fucking straight garbage right in the dirt patch that's brand new. It looks beautiful. And then instantly masks, and there was a fucking used condom. There was a bag of Coke with some Coke still in it. There was fucking Starbucks. This is what I hate. And Dunkin' Donuts, big ones, just thrown down. This is why. This is the problem. I don't even know if some of these are people. I'm going to be honest with you. I think everyone's a person. They're having the human experience, whatever. But there's so many NPCs at this point. We're pumping out so much trash that it's creating that split. You could obviously see it, right? It's going to be those on this side that are convinced, nope, this is how it is. I listened to my doctor. I took the shots. Oh, okay, great. You realize they're pulling clots that are over 6 feet long out of fucking 18-year-olds and 22-year-olds, right? Imagine what's coming out of your disgusting ass, right? Imagine that for a second. 6-foot clots. So much so that the guys that embalm you and shit are pulling that out of the dead people and jarring it and then showing photos of all the things they've been taking out of people. It's always the same thing. They look like giant Morgellon strands clotted up inside you. They're like, this is just disgusting. Clot is just like saying fluoride. It's just it's just a mix of shit that creates this hard shit substance that grows inside of you. So then you learn about nanotech and you're like, oh, okay. So what are you saying? It's growing a clot? No, it's growing an antenna inside of you. That's what it's doing. The ones that it kills off, it's only the strong will survive. That's kind of their thing. So those that survive it mutate. This is obvious. This is obvious stuff, everyone. My fearless family, you should know this, and you should know this hardcore. They're trying to mutate us so then you don't have human rights. You're not technically falling under what a human is. And those that no longer fit that description no longer have rights. That's why they want everyone's DNA. I mean, you just putting it all together. And as you're going and you realize, holy shit. So obviously we're watching a script. That's not Biden. I haven't seen the real one in years. He's probably long gone. Hillary does not look like Hillary. Every time you see a picture of her, it's not her. I'm going to get to tonight's topics, by the way. This is just stuff that has to come out now. So this is what I mean when my guys are telling me like, yo, remember the script. It's a heist inside of a heist. You know you're watching a movie, but you're walking around inside the movie. It's a hologram. If you paid money to go see Die Hard, but Die Hard was a holographic movie experience where you go in and you're actually McClane or anyone there. You can be anyone there. You know how? You're just there. Depending on what you pay for is the experience. You're pay for is not the right word. Your intent on is the character you'll play and maybe the lesson you need to learn out. So you go into the movie and you're like, oh my, holy shit, they're shooting at us. This is real. And then you notice you don't have shoes on and you're like jumping off of buildings and stuff. You're like, whoa, because it's so fucking crazy. And you're like, I got to get out of here. And then the movie ends and then the lights come on and it's just you. And you're like, oh, wait, what? But you're all in there. Okay, we're at that point. I've been there for a minute. I want you to know everything that I talk about, I'm not ever trying to put myself ahead or above or beyond anyone. I'm really experienced being fucking humble as it gets, going through what I go through. And I take the experience and I'm like, you know what? I needed to learn that, I guess. I don't like it. I don't love it, but thank you. I mean, it's weird, but I don't bend the knee. So there's that. The experiences are just wisdom growing and growing and growing, right? You guys could all fight in whirlwinds of your own shit for all I care. For real. My job is to tell you my story and what I'm seeing, so you can then go and go, that was a cool story, bro. This is how he did it, though. And if it affects you, then you get to take that path or a path like that, or somehow make your connection, because if you're watching and listening, there might be something you like, or something that makes sense, or something that doesn't make sense, and you're trying to make sense of it. My point is, if you're going to go down the path, you get to go down. I'm right there. I'm a soldier. I'm there with you in the pits, right? I've already went in the deep end. I know it's there. My experiences, we're going to talk about them in a bit, are just way different than everyone else's. I am convinced, not that I am more, I am what I am, and that'll never change. So whatever is happening to me, it's because of what I am and what I'm becoming. Not that I'm any more or less. I'm not, I'm just on here talking about it. So there's this assumption, Frank thinks this and that, and what. My belief structure's fluid and changes non-fucking stop. I never set and structure anything except for the things I know to be a truth, like a factoid. This is truth. I'm under, and then someone is Anubis and shows up, and you'll understand what I mean in a moment, and says, if you don't do this, you will spend the rest of the day in the underworld and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, homie, Anubis is my aspect Anubis, right? Like it's my homie, bro. He will never talk to me like that. And boom, Anubis shows up, and I never will. And you're like, oh, they're deceiving me. Discernment time. I know he'll never talk to me that way. I know his energy. I know the feeling inside of its presence, and it would never be like that ever. It doesn't matter if I was planting a I'm not even going to say if I was doing something wrong, something terrible. He wouldn't talk to me like that. He'd just be like, did you want to think about this? I'd be like, I did. It's good time. So I have this wisdom through experience, not through reading books, like pagans have this thing with praying to the trees or the mother. This pagan tried to explain it to me once, and I said, what you describe as pagan in self of yourself, and what you're saying to me with nature, I'm literally saying the same thing as you, except I'm that thing as well. So I don't look at it as a pray to the tree. I am the tree. So the tree gets the same as reverence. I hold myself to a very high, extreme example. I'm losing the non-perfection part, the cutting the fat off of Frank's thick, fat head. It is what it is at this point. If it doesn't agree with you, maybe you're just seeing it from that level, and that's fine. But the difference is I see myself as that. Like you're like, this is what this lady said to me. This was a long time ago. She said, you see that tree right there? It was the most beautiful tree ever. She's like, I pray to the tree and the thing behind the tree, which is nature. And she got into this whole thing about it and everything. And I go, who do you think ayahuasca is? I'm just curious. So she was mad that I was doing ayahuasca. She's like, like I pray to nature and blah, blah, blah. I go, who do you think ayahuasca is? When I say mother, who do you think I'm talking about? She's like, I don't know. I go, it's obviously Mother Earth, the soul of the planet. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, that's what I've been saying the whole fucking time. We're talking about the same person, the same being, the same energy. Except our focus is completely different. I realize I am turning into that which is Mother Earth, Ayahuasca, the creator, source, prime source. Like, what are you as a creator being not getting? Oh, I'm so powerful. So you just want to show up on the end with superpowers. You don't want to go through any of the other stuff, right? Because it's the journey, not the destination. Obviously, you know that, right? We don't have to explain that to you, right? Because you get that totally? Okay. Well, then if you do that, then don't be a judgy McJudge fuck. There's a lot of things going on here. Okay? We can get into the whole fact that there's a sect of the Jewish community that calls us Goyim. All of us. If you want to turn that pentagram into something else. Or we can just call it, because I've used it. I've used a pentagram. Oh, what do you mean you've used a pentagram? You throw that on the floor and stand in it, you're safe. I've portaled in it. I don't take it to the demon realm. This is why I was talking about color, right? Like you can literally use that as a sigil. It's how it's being used against you. You might be like, well, it's not being used against me. I'm cool. Yeah, well, there's 8 billion people on the planet. How does that make you feel? Much better now about yourself? Come down out off your fucking high horse and stop judging fucking people. I get so mad with this, and I'm like, trying to let it go. This is where you get someone like myself who's not really trying to sell it to you. I'm not writing the book, and I'm not like, go to the website and buy everything. I would like if you went there and check some shit out. And if you like what I'm doing here, you can help support it. However, when you have to cry for the money every day, then you're just going to have every bits and piece on here and say, yeah, sure, great. Yeah, yep, of course. It's all out there. Oh, so it's like this, it's like that. I saw this video the other day of a flat earth guy trying to explain flat earth, saying we got visuals and pictures of this from up in outer space, that it looks like a giant edge with the waterfall going into itself. It does not look like that. You're being ridiculous. However, he said something so profoundly correct that that's what made me keep watching. I said, I'm not judging this guy, because I've literally been up there and looked, and I know a bunch of you have as well. It does not look like a flat planet. Okay. He was like, yo, there's no dome, because there is no dome. That's the atmosphere that you're breaking through. Layers that have to be there so you can be here. So what they call a dome, air quotes, is also layers of atmospheric construction that if you hit it a certain way, you're not passing through, which is why you're flame on as you're passing through it the other way. And you're on fire, right? Because you're passing through like a thick substance. So when meteors come through, they break up and they don't make it most of the time because they're coming through some kind of, is that material, or it's energetic layers of atmospheric pressures. Oh, come on, guys. This is simple shit. Once again, not willing to do the real work. All right. There's been people that have tried over and over. Okay. Earth plane. I'm not judging. Earth plane, because you have a. Thank you, Lucky Gypsy, so much. Sending you positive vibes. Love you so much. I appreciate you. This is great. When I was up there, I said, yo, why does it look so fucking big? And they were like, because they're not showing you the whole thing straight up. So it looks just like you would think Earth looks, but bigger. But then there's like these pockets. Everything's still moving, everything's still going, but that bowl, our what would you call that? Our realm, Earth, is that piece on the planet. God, I need something to I don't have anything around me. Yeah, wait a second. Turn this way. This piece is part of a giant, bigger piece spinning. And this would be like us in like it's not a crater. It's like a dugout fucking spot, but there's multiple spots like that. Now, we're being watched, observed, and it's an experiment. Oh, man. Thank you so much, Matt. I love you so much, my brother. Now sending you positive vibes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. So we're in this place and they're not explaining what's going on. So we're being watched. And this harvest they talk about, I've talked about this. You're ready to go. You're just ready to leave the area. That's it. The Yggdrasil tree is, so that's the tree of life. I'm trying to get a visual and they're trying to explain it to me. My guys are like, just check it out. The tree of life has different realms, right? Like, so here's the tree top and then here's a realm up here. Nidalheim, Svartalheim, Nidavellir, Asgard, Middle Earth, or whatever the fuck it's called. Okay. All of that is Earth. Gaia. So it's not an actual tree. So, all right. It's meant to show you the planet has many branches. Okay. And each area, each branch that has a name, Nidavellir, Asgard, whatever, has a different frequency and vibration. However, is physically still on the fucking planet that's spinning. So they would be considered. I talk about this. You go to Hawaii from here. Things are completely different. Well, they're different people, different way of thinking. Things feel different. The sun feels different. The day and night feels different. The food tastes different. The feel on your feet feels different. The breath you take feels different. Oh, so it's another dimension. No, it's just another place on the planet. Did you pass a line of some sort that's invisible? Did things change? That's dimension, vibration, frequency equals dimension. You shift that way. I don't mean to sound like I'm barking. I have a lot of weird energy. The solstice energy is big. Their attacks are still going to come, even though it's a script. It still has to play out. I'm not ignoring any of that. I just have like shields up and rise above. So the planet has all these planes of existence on it. Inner Earth, underworld, in this, upper that, whatever, all different names. But it's all here. And you can access that within you. So as above, so below. So Ayahuasca explained to me, those creators, that it's there. She showed me a pine cone opening and that it falls from her tree because she's ayahuasca and that's the world tree. That's the soul of the entire thing. She showed me my seed, right? It fell and it opened and then it buried and started and it grew just like her. So she's like, okay, so you're like me. You're just like me. You're going to do all the crazy things that I could do and all that. So I'm like, well, that's pretty intense. And they're like, well, that's what you guys are that are ready to grow. So, but you got to understand that balls to bones. You can't waver on that. Like you have to understand that, what that actually means. And I said, well, what does that mean? And I've talked about this on, I've said too many times tonight, where I was like obsessed with Zeus at one point. And then I met him and he was this small little being. And it was like a nothing thing. I'm not dissing him, but then she showed me the multiverse and showed me that there's multiple Zeus characters. Every universe has its own version of him, just like it has its own version of you. And then she like she goes, okay, so you can take every Zeus and fit him inside of Paula. So she was using Paula as the example. And I saw all of them just go in this little spot. I said, well, that's pretty powerful, Paula, then. And she goes, oh, no, you collapse the rest of the multiverse, right? I go, you do? She goes, no, we're going to right now with everybody else in it. And every other being that you think is fucking bigger than Zeus or whatever. Collapse all that down. Right. Look, it fits right on Paula. And it was just in her heart area. And I was like, what? So she's like, that's how powerful you guys are. You can just fit. Look at all that other stuff you got room for. I was like, wait a second. Are you kidding me? She's like, you can't let these punks push you around. I was being pushed around a little bit by Abraham and Bashar at the same time. Came during a channeling session right into the living room. And they both they were very nice, but they were very pushy, like smooth about it though, but a little pushy. And here they are. So they, as they were pushing, Ayahuasca just showed up and explained the whole thing, broke it down about their agendas and everyone's agendas. And that there are some of us, which should be all of us, that are just straight representatives or ambassadors to Earth. That don't take this word the wrong way. Ambassador means I live here. I'm going to take care of the planet. I speak for those that can't speak for themselves, right? Which is why I took care of all the cats here. There ain't no one doing it, and they're trying to kill them with traps and all kinds of poisons. So I'm like, oh, I'll just get them all fixed and bring them all in the house and fuck everyone. And then we developed our own way around here to make things work instead of being nasty. I got the window open. They jump in and out. There's only 2 cats, I think, here right now. And if it rains, there's 9. And if it snows, there's 15. Right? But we're alive. Ambassador to the planet. Speak for those that can't be spoken for. I'm going to walk around and murder every being that I see on the planet. Because as a shaman, I've learned to live like with the ant problem we had. I went under and asked for the head of the ants. Who's the ant being? Right? And I went to the mother of all ants and I explained my issue, and I haven't had a fucking ant since. We're like 5-6 years into that now. I just explained myself. I said, listen, I'm going to go to war with you. And they were like, if you go to war, it's a war. Every day there'll be war. Period. There'll be war. That's what you want. It's like, no, but you're here and there's monsters everywhere. Rah, rah, rah. They're like, okay, time and place. You want the ones out of the house, get rid of them. They were kind of part of the program at that level. So you're spraying, you can't put down, you're wiping it down, you're trying to clear off blocked areas. All right, do your part. You still have to do your part. You can't just leave a hole in the wall. You can't be disgusting about it. You got to pick your shit up, clean it up, right? Squirt some kind of juice that won't kill the cats. Everyone's happy. And then you seal up the little positions. No ants. No big deal. But if you go outside and start murdering ants, you're going to find that there's ants everywhere. And you're going to try to murder them. Like, it's just one thing after another. Like, if you bring that shitty energy out that you want to fight, you might run into the guy that's ready to fight. And he knocks you right the fuck out because you bring in that. So isn't it better not to bring that? Bring a concern to the table. Did you even try to talk about it? One of the things in the new X-Men comic, everyone's fighting everyone, and there's like this space god resurrected. And right away they try to kill this guy that they resurrect. And he shows them, but they think they lived it. Them attacking the space god and blowing him up. And when he detonates, he takes out millions of people, like a whole section of the planet gets detonated. So now they're like, oh shit, now what do? We literally killed all these people. And it's like, we saved, we killed, millions died so the future billions can live. Okay. So that was the big quote. So the space god turns off the illusion and goes, you didn't even try to have the conversation to try to say anything. You just went straight to kill me, right? Now you're all getting judged individually and as a whole. And if more of you are shitty, you get more thumbs down than thumbs up, you're all gone. right? You get you get more thumbs up than thumbs down, you live. How's that sound? And he starts judging the planet. And it's like, wow, you didn't even try to talk to it. You resurrected it and then didn't speak to it. You just immediately try to murder. Well, murder's a big deal, especially when dealing with space gods. But these are all metaphors for the whole thing. As above, so below, right? So it's, what do you want out of your created experience? You're creating an experience here. What do you want out of it? You all right? Are you hungry? All right, guys, give me 30 seconds. Got to feed the cat. Come on. Sorry about that. Thank you. Right. So it's like, what do you want out of your experience? What are you looking to get out of this? You want to fight? Is it a war between light and darkness? Well, we're going to war then every day. Or are you aware of the war and rise above the war? You come off the chessboard, right? You just come off the chessboard. Yeah, it's still going to annoy you. It's still going to bother you. Eventually it won't. Eventually it will not. It's amazing how, even though fighting the AI, we keep making these stupid people more famous, where good music and good shows and good stuff doesn't get out there and shared, but you'll share Pete Davis and Kim Kardashian stuff. It's disgusting. I know I'm just blowing smoke on that one with you guys and girls, but you understand that frustration level just fucking hits, keeping you attached to the chessboard again. Once again, it's like the thing I create and make, and then this and that is you're connected to a chain. You know, I was at the wedding, and then the way they make me feel, and then God damn, I don't want to be around these fucking people no more. Doom, chain to the way you feel. Chain to it. You won't let it go. You won't. Man, we gotta just release and start organically growing again, spiritually, physically, mentally. Like working your way back to that, right? For as smart as you think you are, there's billions that aren't even close. So being a Dickie McJudgy with someone like myself who never judges and dicks over you is a fucking complete waste of your time and on this level and experience, because all I'm getting out of it is how to keep my mouth shut and not just blast you across the face. That's really all that I'm doing. And I learned it. I'm like, it wouldn't get me nowhere, nor do I even care. If I cared, you'd be my friend. But I don't care. So you're not. It just doesn't matter. I love you either way. The idea is to rise together. But it's obviously, okay, now into some of the shittier news. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer. So it sucks to deliver shit news, right? Even though in the midst of all these things happening, it's just taking longer. Yeah, the control system is being controlled by the white hats, I think they call them. The bad guys aren't really running the show, but there's a script playing out. They're using green screens. They're using advantages of media and the press to lie, deceit, to make the American people and pretty much every other person on the planet the bad ones, right? They're trying to teach your kids. This is what I don't understand, why you fight with someone when they're literally trying to get transgender. I mean, literally hands in your pants, trying to sexualize your children, literally raping and taking them, feeding on them. For any of you that talk about rituals and sigils, you know, they're putting the baby on that, right? And then eating it, right? I mean, I shouldn't have to fucking tell you this. You're so smart. The intelligentsia of the entire background crowd that shouts, "Oh, the witches are getting attacked now. Gabba, gabba, gabba." Y'all witches should be attacking the system. Okay? knowing that they're using baby blood rituals, virgin sex rituals. Because I got to go on and on. They've been doing this forever, right? I mean, how many of you that are like that have your own stone in your backyard? Right? Should they have a voice too? Wait, let me kill the goat and drink the blood and then see what it tells me. That seems legit. It's just you fucking people blind me with ridiculously amazing ridiculousness left and fucking right sometimes. Wow. And I know we all know people like this. I just stand firm in knowing that I'm the all and I'm not going to have anything less. It doesn't matter. And that comes through learning about yourself, learning to love you more, learning to go inside and figuring it out, not giving it away externally. So speaking about external things from outer space. So solar flares, literally the talk of the town, about 2 weeks ago, start coming in, blasting us, like made me numb. Just a couple days back, the chart they used to chart this stuff got knocked completely out. The Schumann resonance was completely blacked out for days. That was unregisterable cosmic energy. That means in the presence of source, pretty much. Right? Like source is the only thing that you're not going to be able to register on that kind of level, right? We're going. And I was telling Della about this too. She had asked me, and shout outs to Joe and Della. So we're shifting, right? So those that are looking to buy houses, now's not the time. The market's going to crash. Bearer of bad news. It's going to get really bad before it gets good, but it's got to play out that way, right? So these solar flares are coming in and it's causing a mass awakening. But you're also seeing people just have no clue what's going on. So they just, are losing their shit. People are just attacking people. I don't want to really go white, black. I've seen some videos that they really make me nauseous. But there's some weird thing going on to make like black people want to hate white people, and then white privilege, and then white drama and white. And if you have an extended family with a traditional family, I mean, of a man and a woman and a child and another child and 2-car garage and a nice house, Family Guy style, that you're the problem. That's all hate. I'm just letting you know now. That's just hate. They're representing things wrong in the media and in the movies when it comes to backgrounds and how it really played out in real life. So there's that fakeness as well. They're not historically accurate in any fucking way. Okay? In any way. They get you tied down to Little Mermaid color, while meanwhile they're sending your money to Ukraine to launder it, to literally try to stop what Russia's doing, and all they did was gold back the ruble. That's how this really went in. And you could argue all day all you want. They have the backing of the gold. And people are turning on the US. Okay? So something to think about right there. You could argue all day and whose fault and who's dipped. Y'all politicians are at fault. All of you. I'm holding all of your feet to the fire. I have to be responsible for me. You have to be responsible for you. And while we're doing that, why are we not bringing out guys that made laws that have to do with like getting blowjobs and having anal sex if you're married in the state, and you can go to jail federally for that? Yeah, those laws need to be struck down, and those people need to be fired and pay back the government money that paid them for their salaries. Like, you got to start holding people accountable. So here's another one. This is how I know it's working, but it's going. So I follow action figures and stuff. I know it sounds silly. He's almost 50. So the new thing is $350, and it's really weak. And they're giving away basically Marvel Universe's. It's the Ghost Rider character with the car, but they're giving away Mephisto, who's Marvel's the devil. But the price of the thing is ridiculous, and people can't really afford it. And I'm watching the people turn on Hasbro because you pulled the fast one, and now you're doing some crazy shit and you're using the devil. I mean, this is so obvious. He's Satan from Marvel Universe. But you only get him if you spend all this money, and then you get the charging flame fire and the beer. It's worth $100 at best. And they're raping the customers. I'm watching the customers flip on them. Like, nah, I'm not feeling this no more. Like, you guys are like, we're family people. I'm like, for another 45-year-old guy, you want you're collecting something and with your kid or something, and I can't pay for this. I can't pay for it. So it becomes this crazy thing. So they did the release of the NBA 6-inch action figure today. I know this is just frivolous. This is but what I know, right? So they release like LeBron James and a bunch of other guys people don't give a shit about, right? So the whole first round of guys, people were like, boo, this sucks. We waited a year for this, the starting lineup. This is who you're giving us, and then you're charging us $50 for that. A basketball. Just think if he was dressed as a basketball player. Look, his legs bend, he stretches, it's a fucking toy. $50. They plan on having all these characters and then mega characters that come with like the background or whatever. That's when probably they'll bring out Jordan. Well, what are you going to charge now? $100, $150 for that? Here we go. You ready? Dun, 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 dun. They're taking advantage of people across the board. And if you don't think they're doing that in something that you care about, go look at like other equipment or things you enjoy and look at the fucking prices on them and look at what you're actually getting. So these solar flares that are incoming are causing these little awakenings. Boom, 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 boom. So yes, it's going to happen. Yes, it's going to. These little solar flares and these other ones are going to lead to the solar flash event. The solar flash event, you guys want to be ready without being ready for the date or the time. So you get right with yourself. You got to get rid of your karma. That's a whole maybe show for another day, getting rid of it. And then you kind of go karma free, which gives you timeline freedom. You're not tied to anything. So I was saying this earlier, there's no timeline attached to me. It's just success of whatever it is I choose to do. Yeah, there's a future readout on me, but I could just change that. I could do. There's no more like timeline bending, switching, manipulating. But there's these things happening where they're trying to pull those different things in. So as you go karma free and then don't get involved, you start to feel that. You go, oh, it's obvious. I'm just going to rise above and kind of ride this through. But you still have to watch the whole thing fall apart. You're still here on the planet. Being in 4D, 5D doesn't mean you're not here. You're going to be in that vibration. That's all it means. It's a vibration change. But these solar flares are going to intensify and intensify and they've been intensifying. And it's always right on time with a full moon, solar eclipse, always on time with the solstice. Then I take a look at some calendar stuff and I realize that if you add another month to the calendar, you have a perfect 13-month cycle. Perfect. And I'm like, oh, so they're changing times and dates while knowing the real time and date. Because they did it at a certain point. So they're fully aware of what's going on. Why would they do that? So your magic is off. So your timing is bad. But now everything's resetting. Oh, I don't like using that word. Everything's going back to the original. Everything's going back to the original, the way it was intended to be. Thus, you'll feel the change. You'll notice something and go, oh, well, wouldn't it be correct if it was like that? Well, yeah, that's an obvious one. You notice nobody answers those questions. Yes, I saw a post that said, I must be getting much stronger. I'm capable of carrying $300 in groceries back into my house. And I just laughed. I says, I know exactly what you mean. I spent $75 the other day at the deli. They're called bodegas. I was like, $75 just to get a couple of things. Yeah, that fucking sucks, man. It is shitty, right? Kids do have it rough today. Got to give kids the new thing to do, man. It can no longer be what it was and has to go into more. All right, so I said this about a few people and their kids, and I was completely right. And kids are getting in trouble, having problems all over the place. But then I was alone with the kid at one point or another, and then all the kid wanted to do was run around, wrestle, play with the cats, run around, wrestle, throw a ball, wrestle, run around. So obviously there's no man playing any games with this kid, and there's no one's doing anything. So I just started just going all out, right? Throwing the ball, tackling you, chasing you around. And I shouldn't really be doing much of that. And so much was blown out that, he went home and slept like a baby. My fucking nephew, he's awesome. I think he's 12. He's 12. He joined football. And he's big. He's playing like defensive end or offensive tackle. He's a big kid. And he loves it. And they're beating his ass. And I told him, are you bored now playing video games and talking to your friends? You don't even know what to do with yourself because nobody's giving you a direction. They're just saying, well, if you want to, you could do this. Kid, you got to be like, you know why this is awesome? This is awesome because you could do all this crazy shit with it. And your little imagination's got to go. You got to help drive that machine a little bit. Right. So I'm like, these kids are going to get I said, you're going to get a little physical and you're going to realize you're going to get trucked if you're not in there paying attention, focusing what matters. Got to go for a run. Why am I running? I don't know. In 3 weeks, when you got 2 inches off your waist, 2 inches on your chest, 2 inches on your arms, you're 2 seconds off your time, you're going to go, oh, that's what that's for. Right. And in 3 months, you're going to be running people over. Someone that plays street football with you, it's going to be different. I played a lot of street ball of all kinds growing up, like a lot. Okay. I went and played football. And then I wound up in Division II. However, I was somewhere in high school. I think it was my sophomore year. And I stay, no matter how much I work out, I stay a little chunky. Right. So I was in the park and all of the kids that were playing, nobody wanted to pick me. And then a dude I knew was making fun of me. He was like, oh, this fat fuck, he sucks. He was going on and on about stuff. He's slow. He's this, that. I'm like, I grew up with you. Do we even know each other? Like, I don't even think you know me. I'm the best player here. And he was like, whatever, fat boy. So the game goes off. I get picked last. I get put on his team. He gets mad. And it's literal. It's like we called it rough touch, but it's basically I could shove you into a fucking brick wall if I get you in a park on concrete that was unlevel. Nobody could keep up with me. There wasn't one kid on the fucking field that the quarterback that didn't want me wouldn't stop throwing me the ball. I go, but I don't play offense. I'm the defensive player. All the gangsters were there. Everybody was there. And I was like, bro, I fucking warned you, bro. But for me to get that way, somewhere was in the middle of eating a cheeseburger one day and one afternoon and picking my nose and then running fucking laps 3 months into it where I'm like running with equipment on, grabbing my fellow player, putting him, come on, we got this, motherfucker. Let's go. Right? Like, you're not like that in the beginning. You're like, oh my God, what's happening to me? I can't walk. I did work at my mother's house the other day. I'm still sore. It was 1 week ago today. For 3 days, I couldn't move. I cried to Paula. I was like, I can't do work like that. She's like, well, you obviously did too much work, but it wasn't blistering, but geez. I can't imagine what I'd be like though if I didn't stretch and I didn't do a little whatever. And maybe if I did work like that more, it wouldn't be as crazy. But it's like punishing and brutal. And you question yourself and you second thought, third thought, I could quit right now. I could just go home and smoke fucking weed. Or you can just shut up and get to work. You know, I got made fun of playing football. Oh, it's fat fuck. The coach used to call me fat fuck. I don't understand. This is why I don't understand when people get all offended at stuff. I'd be on the field at a prep school, Fordham fucking prep, okay, with hundreds of kids trying out and only like whatever 50 kids maybe make it. I don't even think it's that many. And you got to hustle, right? I was running laps. The first year I was good, and then I got really good, and then I got really good the next year. But that came out of me when I was running laps, and the coach would just look at me. He would never acknowledge that it was me. He would just go, "Hey, fat fuck. I'm not that fat. 200 pounds. I'm a truck, right? Go run. He would scream it at me. God damn, I had my number. I had number 13 for the whole time. He gave it away to another kid. Gave me like 28 or some shit. I was like, I don't even want this. They did all kinds of fucked up things to me. And I just like channeled. And then one day I was running laps, and he said to everyone, did you see how this fucking kid's running? This is how you should be running all the time. There's a difference between good and great. Okay. I could only go to great high school level. I was just okay in college. Yeah, it was hard. It was really fucking hard. But in that time, it was like, you want that glory, then you got to go for it. Okay. So now, as above, so below. Same thing with you. I hope this is making sense. So as these solar flares are hitting and you're intensifying, it's all about you. It's not about my neighbor. It's really not. You got to be compassionate and kind and understanding and whatever, all these other things towards the other beings you're sharing space with. But it's not your problem to, like, what happens if the solar flash hits and they're outside going crazy? I'm just saying, or an EMP goes off and they start losing their shit. Am I going to run outside and just go, listen up, everybody listen? It's a design thing that happens to raise your frequency, or if they're using weapons against us of destruction against the people, that's when they just shoot you and tell you to shut up. No one listens to you. They rob you. They go in your house and rape everyone. Like, let's not be ridiculous. So my ascension is a personal thing. Okay. I use extreme examples. I'm in the Bronx, right around the block. When I say around the block, these blocks are short. So 3 blocks. 4 dudes got shot, like gunned down right in the street in the middle of the day, right here. It's too close to home. This has been encroaching for a long time, but it's getting worse because as these solar flares go off and solar events, it's triggering the dark to go darker, and it's making the light turn to the light. They want more. However, inside of that, let's get back to the harvest. Those who are praying for more but don't do what you could put everyone before you. I'm trying to explain it to him. Hold on. You could put everyone before you and be like a saint that way, but not do anything for you. You're not harvestable for this. You're in a class, an experimental classroom situation built on levels and frequencies and vibration. So you're not harvestable in a good way, in the positive way, because you don't do anything for you, even though you've helped everyone, and you wonder why. Oh, did you ever give any of that to you? Did you let anyone give it to you, help you, love you back? No. Well, then you have to go back and learn it. Right. So harvest is coming out of the earth realm into all the others. So here's a little trick to creator beings. We have the ability to change frequency, modify ourselves, switch it up, transform, do all these wonderful, beautiful things with our human vessel. Is literally built so the creator can do creator shit. You just have to unlock it because it's been programmed the other way. So we're in the unlocking stage. So the solar flares are causing that. Okay. We got all that straightened out. If you have questions while I'm talking, please throw them out there. I'll try to jump in and, I already saw some stuff in the chat I had to block out of there. Okay. So I've had my own Mandela effects recently. KG, if you're listening, this has to do with the music. Okay. So it happened 2 weeks ago because I have this written on a piece of fucking bounty from 2 weeks ago. I've been just writing on it, and as things occurred for 2 weeks, I just made little notes, and nothing was more important than this stuff. So all about the upgrades that are happening. Everything's happening. Everything's happening. In the background, though, in terms of the rise of your soul, you have to do more work. The work is loving yourself. Is that work? Well, if it is, you have a problem. That's the thing, right? So if you think self-work is no bueno, then you're, hey, Illuminate, I love you, man. Sending you positive vibes. Thank you so much. With some magic numbers in there as well. I appreciate you with all of my heart. Okay, good. Kevin's here as well. He's listening. Illuminate's here. We got Mike up in here. Dave's in here. Dave's gonna catch the replay. He's going on a walk with his mom. You guys should be listening to this shit while you're walking, going, yeah, we're gonna fucking upgrade together, ma. Just kidding. But not really. All right, so Mandela effect. What up, Sugar Pop? So the Mandela effect is something that occurs. It was one way. You read it one way, like Berenstain Bears or Berenstein Bears, Constantine or Constantine. Which is it, right? Is this movie real? I saw it. Well, that doesn't even exist. What are you talking about? It's obviously right here. Well, here's the actor saying, I never did the role. Okay. So these are all just weirdo examples of this. If you need a deeper understanding, please Google it right now and just put it up next to you while we're talking. Okay. So I've been recently releasing lyric videos of the Sons of the Suns music, right? So I'm learning with Kevin on this video production stuff how to do this and make it look good, not just words on the screen. Like, I want it to look hip hop and rock if it's a rock, and I want it to have us in there, but not just focus on the fucking music. Don't worry about our ugly fucking faces right now. Just fucking let's rock and roll. So my first one happens with the song Live as It Gets. And it was brought to me by KG's girl, who's helping us out. All right, this one was weird because it kind of fucked me up. Because it was so I'm doing the song, putting the lyrics up, putting them in. And it sounds like 100% sounds like, and I did this for days before going to Kevin to say, hey, check this to see what it is. The sample in the song is I'm as live as it gets, right? When I first heard it, I was like, isn't it as live as it gets? But no, it's obvious. I'm listening to it 100 times, 100. At least. And I'm like, it's saying the sample is as I'm as live as it gets. So okay, so I pass it on to Kev. He finally gets it. This girl hits me back and goes, you guys got to make a decision on this because this is ridiculous here. It's either live as it gets or I'm as live as it gets, but you need to listen to it again. So I go back and I listen to it, and it's just live as it gets. So I had to input I'm as live as it gets because we're hook heavy 15 fucking times. And each time I changed the song, had a fucking re-input. And I'm going, where is it? So Paula's sitting with me and she goes, where's what? I go, it's not saying I'm as live as it gets. It's literally just going live as it gets. I'm as live as it gets, right? So I'm going, no, it said I'm as live as it gets. And I questioned this already a month ago. Because it's not Kev or I saying it on the song. It's a sample. But it should say live as it gets. Okay, so that's what it says. So I go back and fix it. The next day that I'm working on Capacitor, another song of ours. It's the one right at the start of the show. So now it's specifically me. Excuse me. So I have a line, separated we tried. I can't understand what's real. It's hard to feel. They modified the deal. That's the line. So I'm typing the lyrics in. I get to that part. I set the whole thing up. I'm right at that line. And it says, lyrically, and on the lyric sheet. So, because I'm copy and pasting. And this is impossible. It says, I say, I'm listening to the recording, and it says, separated, I tried. I can't understand what's real. It's hard to feel. They modified the deal. And I said, that's literally not what I say. But I looked up at the screen, and I saw the I, right? Because the song's playing, and then the words are implementing and being sent in. I saw the I change to we without me touching a fucking thing. And I went, oh, what just happened? Like, I totally, whoa, what happened? I go back and play it. Separated, we tried. I can't understand what's real. I go, wait, no. I've been working on this. That shit said I. Popped up on the screen, I, because the I would just, the literal letter would show up on the screen. And then switch to a W right in fucking front of me. And then I heard me change. I heard it change with my own fucking ears. And I watched it and I was like, yo, what is going on here? Okay. So those are my two Mandela effects that really, let me see if there's anything else on here. Yeah, I saw this and I heard this. It was live watching it and it freaked me out. I said, I've never seen. Okay, that's one I've never. So, all right. There's a video out there of a guy that walks in and out of a room carrying a videotape. Okay. And the videotape letters change as he walks in and out of the room. He goes, watch, I'll just prove it over and over again. He walks in, he walks out, he walks in, he walks out, and the letters just switch. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? Barring that, naturally, it's a hoax, which it once again goes into Berenstain, because now you're getting people that have both. And I'll explain. So it was swore to God that Shazam, or is it Kazam? I think it was Shazam, not Shazam, the character from the comic books, but what is that guy's, the comedian's name? He's so irrelevant now. He had the flat top back in the day. He played like a school teacher. Sinbad. So Sinbad swears he did not make this movie. Swears. No part of it, no whatever. You look it up, it's as if it's just the Mandela effect. People say he did it, but he obviously did. There are people with the tape, the VHS tape. Like, no, here's the tape, homie. I got it right here in my hand. They have things with the spellings that are reversed. Now they actually have it here. The whole world's saying, no, it's the other thing. And it's like, no, it's right here. I grew up with this. like C3PO and his red leg. That didn't exist. He doesn't have a red leg. That's some new shit they did in one of the movies. They were like, bro, we got to update him. He's been gold the whole time. And then they were like, no, it's always been red. And I'm like, no, it hasn't been red. I literally had every action figure from Star Wars ever. There's no point in the movies it's red. You go and look, it's red. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's impossible. Bust out one of these old tapes. Bang, right on the old tape. Nope. So we talk about splits, vibration frequency, timelines, shifts, and all this stuff. Here are your classic examples. Yeah, definitely. I think I've had the silver version of the character. I don't know if his leg was just silver with 3PO, but it was never a red. I do get it. I totally get it. I understand. You know, it was funny when I was on the ship with Della. One of the guys came in the room. We were in a giant room, and it was like oval, like the inside of a ship or something. That was a disc shape, or I don't know. The room was disc shaped. The door opened. It just went, and the guy came in, and people were wearing like Star Trek uniforms. It was like Galactic Federation like uniforms. I feel weird talking about some stuff because it's extra weird, but the guy walked in. He goes, "Hey, you're Frank Castle from Sons of the Sun." Oh, he goes, "Hey, you're Frankie Fearless from Sons of the Sun." He goes, "I recognize you. You're great." And I was like, "What? You heard of me?" He's like, "Yeah. Yo, we play you up here." I'm like, I heard the music and I said, "I don't know that song." And they just shut it off. They were like, da, forget it. And I'm like, "Oh, you motherfuckers are rocking stuff that we didn't make yet, huh?" And we just looked at me like, we're not going to say a word. Then wait till I fucking tell Kevin. I was like, "Yo, could you put that on again just once really quick?" They're like, "Nope." I try to recall it so many times. I just can't do it. It sounded great, though. It really sounded fun. But with everything that I'm telling you, search you, look into you and what you're doing in your life and how whatever path you're on in your life and that you're taking and you choose to take, that you just add stuff to your awareness. That's all I ask of any of you. Just add to your awareness. Awareness is key. You'll pick up on it. It gets more intense. It gets more and more crazy. But you have to build it up. A lot of people just want to tell you, well, I know what's going on. And I know definitely that it's just this. All I can say is there's a lot of perspectives and there's a lot of shit going on. But what I'm seeing, I just lay out there. No, it's like this from my perspective. And now, okay, what do you got? And then we just add those pieces together. It's not about fighting with you. I'm not in a civil war with you. I personally don't give a fuck. I'm going to live my best life, whether you disagree with me or not. But I'm also not trying to run over and judge you and be a dick. Totally not. Totally not. I just don't care. I don't want to be mean or nasty to anyone or any being, anything. I want to grow more in touch with you guys and gals. I want to like learn a little bit about each and every one of you for the most part. It's just that people right now are in a fucked up place and, you know, fucking people do shitty things most of the time, you know, and you can't help it. Some people just can't help it. And I can't sit there and blame you, but I can't hang out with you either while you're transforming because it just won't work, which is why a lot of times our communities don't work as well as they should. There becomes infighting, and then one's more holier than thou than the other one. Oh, get off your fucking high horse. Just get off your high horse. Right? the fact that some of you say that I've said some stupid shit in my time, but I've read today some stuff that was just downright insulting, right? So one of my buddies, I'll just call him a buddy because I don't really know him, but I knew him for a while, like through doing shows and stuff. But he stopped doing everything cold turkey and started doing something else with his life, has to do with aviation, I think, learning about it or whatever. And then I have this guy, his name is Dave, and he's a friend of mine, and I know him for a really long time, and Dave is awesome, and this other guy is awesome. I don't want to name the other guy. However, they will fight you to the death about chemtrails. Except the other guy did something that Dave doesn't normally do. Dave, when Dave's being Dave about chemtrails, just goes chemtrails balls to the wall and just tries to make his point known. It's not real. Doesn't refuses to believe in any of it. It's not real. Blah, blah, blah. The other guy turns around and starts insulting the shit out of people's incredible, dumbed down intelligence that they can't obviously see that it's fake. All while I'm reading an article at the same time of them saying, no, we're blocking out the sun. We've been spraying for years and just going to add the barium and, the aluminum, and it'll reverse that. But we've been already doing that over certain states. But they're not calling it chemtrails. They're calling it cloud seeding and whatever other bullshit name. So obviously the two people I had respect for, Dave is just Dave, but the other guy lost my respect completely by completely trying to disrespect me right on the post talking about chemtrails. It's like, look, don't come on and be all insulting. Oh, my higher knowledge is showing that this is just a conspiracy theory. And for you to believe, well, son, hold on. You did 2 years worth of basic conspiracy theory show. I'm learning that that's not real. Oh, are you? Well, here's pictures. You're learning it's not real. I was in the USDA as a federal inspector for years, getting all kinds of fucking crazy information I talk about, including who gets deputized during a UFO landing. But you're going to tell me that's not real? I literally handed the fucking book to Polygon Radio, Truth Radio, and then they presented it live in front of the fucking the Liberty Bell, the fucking Liberty Bell, where we performed with the people like Jordan Page and fucking I don't know, a whole bunch of other fucking acts that were amazing and probably more deserving to be there than any of us. However, there was news media there, and we showed it to them. Literally showed it to them. But you don't think that's real? Because I was the guy they were deputizing. Some reason USDA food inspectors get deputized for that. Why? Because there might be biology, plant, food life, extra shit on there. They can't have any of that come off. Could be contamination, this, that. So you have to go with the fire department. Man, there's 6 of us in the fucking entire state of New York. 6. 126 in the USA at my level. That's it. That's it. For the whole inspection system. So to think that I wouldn't know just makes you a dick. Like, this is, you bring the argument hard and then disrespect inside of that. Like, oh, you're a dummy. And it's like, I'm the guy on the inside. What are you talking about? All right. So I have a friend. His name is Awesome Stretch. Works for the water company. He worked for them for a very long time. So he witnessed what I went through when I was in jail. I was in jail. I was the guy that put the fluoride literally into the ground, into the containers. So I had to put on giant gloves, take this bag that they told me it was saltpeter, which makes no sense because that doesn't really exist, right? So you don't get excited in jail. Men don't have tons of sex with each other and all that shit. So they were literally putting it into the system. So I had to take the bag and pour it into the chute. And so it goes into the water system. And up in the upper floors, all the inmates that have been there for about a year were like, do not drink out of that fucking water. That shit is poison. So they had like 2 things they drank out of. We all were there, so we all drank out of. They brought up fresh, clear shit once a day, and they put them in giant Gatorade things that you'll see on like football fields. like the water jug, like the Gatorade jugs, and they fill that. One has some kind of like, what is that called? Kool-Aid. All right. And then the other is water, regular water. That's not from the actual, you're not getting it out of the faucet that the prisoners are getting their stuff from. And I was on the inside the whole time. So I told that story, and they all laughed at me. Everyone laughed at me. Everyone was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. I was on fucking radio shows talking about it. And then here's my friend Stretch that thought I was a total retard. For real. Working for the water company. They make him do some shit. And he's like, yeah, you're not supposed to be doing that. He goes, the minute I opened my mouth, I got attacked on every level, every layer of the job, and then was bust down to working in holes. So he's been busy inside of holes. He's like, I had it great. He goes, now I got to go underground. I got to carry the heaviest pipes you could fucking imagine. He's a big guy. He goes, all because I said something. And then when I talk to people about it, they're like, yeah, but you're not supposed to say nothing. Because people don't get it. This guy's the guy at the water. He's laying the pipes in the water. You're going to tell him he's wrong? He doesn't have a fucking voice. Like, I'm here doing this. He doesn't do that, obviously. Doesn't want to lose his fucking job. If I was working for the USDA, I couldn't do this job. I couldn't come and do Fearless. They let me do the music shit because it didn't interfere with my job. But for sure, I went to court one day and they had me on file for everything. They knew everything about me. They were like, they knew my best friend, and like, you can't hang out with him no more. He's a felon. I go, he's been in my life since I'm 3. They're like, he's a felon. And he's going to jail, and that other kid's going, like, you can't. I'm like, how the fuck do you know this? And why do you have pictures of me on stage from Plattsburgh University and Mexico? How the fuck did you get those pictures? You got to be like in the crowd to get those pictures. My boy Willie was here the other day. He says to me, oh, you know, one of our friends is, I know Willie since I'm a baby. He says, you know, one of our friends is a Mason, and he's pushing some of that deeper shit. I said, yeah, they tried to recruit me a long time ago. I talked about it when I was in high school. They came to me and sat me down and said, yo, they brought me lunch. These 2 guys, one of them I knew. I cannot say names. He said, what do you like? UFOs and music, right? And I was like, how do you know that? He's like, yeah, obviously we hear you talk. You like spaceships and UFOs. That's easy. We can show you that shit. You want that shit? Let me tell you what. You get down with us, all right? All right. You just don't talk about certain things. That's it. That's all we're asking you. All right. You will never not have a job. Your family will always be taken care of. Always. You will succeed in music. Like, just, they might as well just try to whip it right out and start sucking it. Like, they just, whatever. You just got to come over here and not talk about that. You know what I said? That Israel was a fake fucking everything. So I don't want to get into it, but I'm not going to tell you my real name. My name is Frankie, but my whole name, whole surname translates to, you know, Guardian Enki, which is really weird. And I'm like part of Isis, Ra, and Elohim. That's all my DNA, all of those. It's why I go through what I go through. I have all of that activated, which is why I see all of them. And they came to me and said, yo, well, they didn't sound like that, but they were like, do you think at any time we would have to point, anyone repping us would have to point nukes at everyone else on the planet? Really? That's what you think? I said, I don't think that. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Like, and they showed me. They said it's a fake representative of us, thus your bloodline. And I was like pretty pissed off. And they're like, don't give up your DNA. I mean, they got it in data banks. I've already been tagged and tagged or whatever. But on the worse end, it just keeps getting worse. You can slip under the radar only so long. They try to match vibrations and frequencies literally to the being they're working with. Me and Ra discussed this. Ra has excellent stuff, but the whole fee fi fo fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman, was giants coming around sniffing out creators, your DNA. They would know the difference between you and the NPC, or you and the reptilian inside the human suit, or you and whatever. They know the difference. Pure blood. They would go, oh, that's a creator. And they'd eat you in front of everyone. You were lucky if that's all they fucking did to you. That's where that comes from. It's crazy, right? Just kind of like ring around the rosy pocket full of posies. Ashes to ashes, we all fall down. Why don't you keep promoting some sick shit? All this is disgusting, but there's the truth is in there. Oh boy. Right, the guy, I know another guy that's at the lodge, and he made a joke. He said to me, oh, I'm on my way out to a meeting. We're going to go eat the babies. You know how it is. Ha, ha, ha. And I go, yeah, they would never feed you a baby. You talk to me. If you don't think they know that you're talking to me, you're out of your fucking mind. The things they knew about me, I only knew about me. If you were eating babies, you wouldn't be living in the 2-bedroom upstairs from the 1-bedroom. The minute you eat the baby, you go in. You're in. And that's not what they do specifically. I was trying to explain. The Masons will teach you to 33 degrees all this shit and have you recite all this stuff, and then right at that very end, they bring you over into the other stuff, and they tell you that's a lie. Everything you learned was a lie. This is the real deal, and they show it to you. And if you don't get with it, you're out, homie. So I don't even want to hear your bullshit. I know how this whole thing works. I literally sat in a room with Wu-Tang, and they told me literally what the fucking industry does to them. They literally, the way I'm telling you, they looked right at me like, you don't know? I'm like, I did all those days at Ayahuasca with Chris Gio, and then was with these other guys for a month. I didn't think I could ever rap again. And they're like, no, they're like, you got to think of the industry as a devil, not the devil, a being. He goes, imagine if they brought a being. This is what they're telling me. Now, I had just saw this under ayahuasca, but I didn't know about this part. So they're like, imagine Saturn was a being, and the being was brought down to protect the industry, the music industry. And that becomes the physical representative of the music industry, is the being known as Saturn, right? So I'm like, okay, well, we had to call Mars and get the being known as Mars over here to fight the being from Saturn to protect us, because look where we're at and look where the industry is. There's like 1 billion people yelling Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang, yet Wu-Tang doesn't get nothing. I went to a Wu-Tang show back in the day in the in the arena, and they had to shut half the arena down because they couldn't sell tickets because they weren't getting any promotion. There was like no promotion for this. Yet, like, the diehard fans knew. We were like, oh my God, we're going to play there. And they had to close off half and push everyone into the front. You know, I was down there. I met Method Man. I met Jizza. My brother and Jizza were talking and hanging out for a minute. I saw them all coming down the rows. Like, I've been privileged to see from the background and from the foreground multiple times, working with Aerosmith in the background. I wasn't working actually with Aerosmith. They weren't paying me. I was being paid by a security firm to just keep an eye while the security guys did their work. I was like a guy running around with them just for a little bit while they were doing their fucking songs in Florida. And they were coming off that heroin back in the day. I think it was the 9 Lives album. It was like recording of that. Worked on movie sets, was in some stuff. Won BET's okay, this isn't right. The Black Entertainment Movies and Televisions Award ceremony. I and Heist Click, everyone from Heist Click was invited to go there because we won 2 movie awards because our song High Noon was in 2 of their movies, and then they put us there with Billy D. Williams. I was privileged to see the background stuff for a very long time. This was going on for years and years and years. These are just little things just shoot up to memory. And they've never been good. When I worked directly at, I was sent to Def Jam for 16 weeks. In like week 8, I don't even want to put a date on this, but it was pretty close to that almost ending. They did a ceremony right in front of me at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. They shut the whole place down. I came upstairs and they were already to it. And I just started giving everyone shit. I go, who taught you how to do this? Who showed you this? You obviously, dummy at the front desk, don't know what the fuck you're doing. This was before ayahuasca, years before. You know what I said? Oh, if Sister Stabile was here, she'd beat the shit out of all of you with a fucking ruler and a bell while yelling in 2 different languages. You're out of your fucking mind. I go, what are you doing? And they escorted me out. They said, obviously, you can't be here for this. They were putting demonic presence in the master and holding the ritual right in the main studio. I thought they opened a fucking closet. It was like a double door. They opened it and it wasn't deep. It was like, I don't know, 3-4 feet in, and there was an altar. I thought it was a utility closet right in the main area. They just opened it. People were in fucking robes and shit. I'm like, what's going on? Then little at a time, man. This girl came to me. She's a supervisor. I don't want to be nasty. She said, you're going to do something for me every day. You're going to do it. You're going to come in here and you're going to do it. You're going to do it every single fucking day. And that's how you're going to get into the studio. And I said, you can suck my dick. I don't suck yours. I'm the star here. And she goes, so you might be able to connect dots here. She goes, my husband is Jay-Z's main bodyguard for years. So I go, right. I'm still a rock star and you're just an employee. We had this stare off, just like what I'm doing now. She fucking hated me. She was a really pretty black lady. Young, pretty. And I felt like she was complete fucking dirt trash. Filth, disgusting filth. Maybe not on the outside, but on the inside, geez, hope your breath don't smell like that. She would get right up on me. She'd be like, I want you to do this right now. So I would deny it. Okay. So they went full gay on the DJ. Try everyone tried. Everyone. Then they tried violence. They tried to beat up my brother, who's much smaller, and we almost killed the guy they sent. It was terrifying for everyone to watch. That's what got us fired. They ripped up our contracts. They told the youngest kid that he was the best they've ever seen and heard, and obviously I'm not going to make fun of him, but he was good at best. At best, he was good. Live, he was great. Great. Everything else, he was a young kid, though. He's still growing into it. I'm sure by now, if he was still doing it, he'd be fucking amazing. So I'm not here to judge, but to say he's the best in the group, I wasn't the best in the group. There were 2 guys ahead of me. When they heard, they were like, what the fuck? So they were going at us all individually until it got to that moment that we were just like not having it. Dude, they started beating up the producer that worked with, I can't say his name. I can say his name. His name is Justin. That's all I'm going to say. He's awesome. Little white Jewish kid, great looking. He's a man, full man now. But he was young at the time. He worked with all kinds of characters. He had just worked with Alicia Keys. There was all kinds of crazy shit and hype around him. He was the only other white kid there. And he said, this is exactly what he says to me. Because I went upstairs. We were throwing down with everyone. We're taking our music back. They were ripping up fucking things. It was bad. So we're walking out. And he comes up. He's like, yo, you got to take me with you. They're going to kill me when you leave. I'm dead. But I said, so let's go. And he goes, all my equipment's downstairs. That's all mine. I go, what is specifically yours? And then there was like a bunch of us. We were there in crew that day. We walked back into the room where everybody was like they were all talking shit about us. We backed everyone the fuck up and just ripped the computer out. Take the computer right now. Take the fucking computer. They were like, what the fuck? I was like, you fucking with the wrong group of kids, bro. We do music so we don't have to fuck you up. How's that sound? What are you, nuts? We go back to the fucking park and rap while kids get beat with baseball bats 3 feet from us while we're making beatboxes and practicing, you fucking group of fools. You have no idea. We're not trying to be gangster, but you ain't going to be gangster with me. Not when I go. I can't show my face if I go back to where I fucking chill. If I let you disrespect me like that, like you fucking nuts. And I know those aren't great rules to live by, but fuck, we took the computer, we left, and Justin did Watchtower with us down on the corner. The whole Invincible album, I think he did. Well, he did most of it. We have some stuff with Mr. Burns on there. And then from watching him, I did Unleashed by myself. And he went on, he's fucking famous. And I think he's in Japan right now. He makes music for everyone. Oh, you go look up. I'm not telling you his last name. How can I promote him without saying his name? All right. Well, he's awesome. And if you are around Heist Click at all on some of the older stuff, you know exactly who he is because all of his information's on the older shit. And he's just amazing. Kind of like when you find out Prince did songs for like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, like he was writing music for them, a bunch of other groups too. And there's a bunch of artists that do that. And it's a complete fucking mind fuck when you're into this stuff. You know, some people, like my cousin's a gangster rapper, literally a gangster rapper. He's just like, he hears me and goes, I don't have time for this shit. Like, just like that. That's fucking crazy. I wouldn't want to know about it anyway. Fuck reptilians. Rah, 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 rah. And then just raps gangster hardcore, motherfucker, eat your roll. Like, you'll be like, whoa, that's a little much for me. But he lives that. He just wants to know who's sucking his and who's he drinking with and partying with. That's all he wants to know. Whatever else goes on, and there's a scheme or a scam or a level of trading off with something else, like it doesn't reach any of the other levels. So he's subjected to whatever happens in that arena now. Right? I mean, he's awesome. Literally, he shouted out the game, and the game put him up in his story. The rapper. Not that I'm promoting the game. Is literally zero I have in common with any rapper that's like that. However, he's great. You can't deny that. Wow, I'm getting like fucking tons of AI attack tonight in the room. If you see the chat room, they keep blowing it up with sex chat bots, and I keep having to block that stuff out. All right, so awesome part of my life. Yeah, I'll tell you the weirdest fucking thing. I'm on a tour with 40 bands, 40 groups. It whittles down to 7. I wind up opening for everyone because I'm having a great time. Everyone else was fucking miserable. Literally, if they weren't hooking up with a girl, they were crying like a baby about 100 things. So it was never really fun for me. I was very lonely. Weird things have happened. I did a song with Ice-T, Kool Mo D, and Terrence, who is in the Kardashian show. He's the radio host on the, I don't watch Kardashians, but I don't know if he dates one of them. He worked with one of them. But we did a song together. He sings the hook. I'm on it. My brother's on it. Mr. Burns on it. But the Heist Click is on it. And then Kool Mo D and Ice-T, they do the first part of the song. And we're getting cool and meeting everyone. And then the two of them brawl on Jerome. They do a show on Jerome Avenue. Last place you should ever do a show, mind you. And they fucking have a big fight. And they just, here, you could keep the music to me. And I'm like, you want me to keep the music? What do you mean? They're like, it's yours. We're not even doing the album. Fuck this shit. So I was like, yeah, well, you just made it onto your fucking album and you're just not going to, you guys are just not going to do your album together. No. So then I'm all right. So I'm on a song with them and then I got to promote that. And I'm thinking to myself, how am I still can't get fucking traction in this. Because it's an all-out assault against creators. It always has been. What are you going to give up to get in here? Are you ready to fucking go down Satan lane? What are you ready to sign over? Because you can't sell your soul. I'm going to just tell you this right now. You can't sell your soul. Your soul is not for sale. You can sell your time in the flesh. Afterwards, where you go and what you do, that's a whole nother story. But ownership of the soul is yours. Alone, no matter what you feel or believe. No, it's over there. No, it's not. It's right here. They literally can't take your soul and then you be in any way, shape, or form here in any way. However, they slide you over and get in and they use you for the ride. Right? Like they can't keep your soul. They could trap your soul, but you can't sell it to them. You're just really what you'd be doing if you were selling us your soul. You'd be saying, okay, give me this from my soul. And then you'd have to just walk into the cage. And then at any time you could just walk out of the cage because no cage could hold the soul. Just throwing it out there. So what you're doing is giving up time here. It's reverse play. They're full of shit. You sell your soul to the music industry. No, you're getting a demon to ride in your body with you, or a reptilian. That's what these things are. It's pretty obvious at this point. We're not playing with just bad people. You know, there's a bunch of them in there too. You take a good look at them from behind. They're full reptilian, or I don't know. I know it sounds so weird. It's always sounded weird when I said that. I told my buddy the other day about episode 9 of Fearless, right? So episode 9 is an episode that only aired live because I was told that I would be fucking taken off the board completely, you know, if I let that one go out. And what was episode 9? It was all on the reptilians. My first meetings with them, every little detail of what went on, the things they said to me and all that. Now, I've repeated most of it over the years, but they said to me at the time, it was like I was just starting on Truth Frequency. So it was episode 9. So it had happened less than a year. The incident that I discussed and all the different things that were happening to me, how they were like approaching me and how they told me they literally came here and they were like, so this is how we're going to do this. This is graphic. If there's kids listening, fucking turn this off right now. They said to me, we're going to kill your nephew first. We're going to eat him and fuck him. And then we're going to do the same thing to your niece. And then we're going to work our way until we fucking hit home with you, till we figure out which one's the worst. And we're going to make sure you stay alive through this whole thing if that information goes out there. And I'm like, well, you literally came into my home during my ceremony to tell me this. They're like, we're not magic, motherfucker. Your circles of protection don't work on us. We're physical, just like you. We'll come in here and fucking truck you for doing what you're doing. So there's a line that works on both sides. And remember, I always tell you, I'm just telling you, I've given away the information. What have they told me? Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. And what have I done? I've talked about it. Why am I still at 1,500 fucking people on YouTube? Why does it still say 1,500? It's been 2 years. You're telling me I have all the tags and everything's correct. Maybe the show sucks. Does it? Even with the odds that I suck terribly and don't tell a good story or give good information, with 1,000 videos, the odds are in my favor than against me. Hasn't moved. Literally hasn't moved in years. I'm not complaining about it. It's just, it is what it is. So I put that episode on hold. I said, it's not, they're in my home. I can't obviously stop this thing and anything it brings in my fucking house. They killed Squeak in front of me. I told you the fucking story that the gray, I've showed the picture. It was like, he's like really tall. He was standing right here. Gigantic fucking head, skinny neck. He was mad tall. He had this mean looking face. There's really good pictures of these ugly looking grill ones. And he looked at me. He was like shooting out of his hands this yellow energy. He like turned, he did this thing. And then I started just throwing up. I had a fucking bucket with me. I had it's like, oh, and Paul's like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, yo, these things in the room with me, man. And all this liquid was bright yellow, the same color it was coming out of his hands. I'm like, I don't know what's happening to me, but whatever. And I look at the fucking window and a snake man walks into the crawls, whatever, moves through the room pretty quick, comes through the kitchen right here in front of me. My cat Squeak walks right into the room. It's me, Paula, and Squeak. Roxy was on the back of the couch. And this giant gray alien thing said to the snake guy, I want you to take the closest thing to him. And the snake took its fucking claw. It was like a claw, stuck it into my cat's behind and snapped its finger off. And the cat leaped into the air. I mean, terrified, and then just took the fuck off. And I was like, no, what's happening? Okay, so I go through my situation. The next week, Squeak is sitting just staring at the wall. Like completely, he's only a year old. I'm like, what's going on? He's a year old. I immediately I take him to the vet. The vet does an x-ray. And he goes, I don't know what's going on inside this cat, but whatever this is shouldn't be like this. And it's causing everything to expand inside the cat. So there was you couldn't see any. You couldn't see any of the organs. And the thing that was in the rectum, it like came out into where the organs were. Is the only thing that you could see. It looked like the head and 3/4 of the neck of a snake with the fangs out. Right? So I said, that can't be real. What is that? And he says, I don't know. It's not supposed to be like that, obviously. Now, I knew what it was. I watched the snake break its fucking claw off inside. So I take a picture of the x-ray. And who do I send it to? I send it to Ralphie. We were building a very strong relationship at the time. We were getting to know each other. He was just coming on True Frequency and everything was going crazy good. And then this happens. And I showed him the picture and I blew it up. And he goes, oh my God, that looks like a giant snake. Fangs and all. I still have the pictures. And I had to put him down and he died. I had to do it immediately. I've lost most of my best friends because of all this journey. Excuse me. I don't mean to get upset, but anyone that fucks with my cats or my family, I just get really upset. And seeing stuff like that and not having control. It was like when they came in here and they beat the shit out of me. They were hitting me in the head, in the back of the head with the fucking butts of their fucking weapons. This was men. I was helpless. And I said, I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do. They knocked me out of my fucking body. And then like, he can't do anything like that. They came right here through a portal right here in the room. And they got me, her, the neighbors. Everybody was standing like this, except for me, who was sitting like right here looking at the computer. And I acknowledged them by turning because I can see the reflection. I saw the thing opening. I was like, what's that? Roxy was sitting on the couch right there. Right. And then I was like, oh, shit. So I turned like, oh, what do I do? And the ET walked right through the screen right here. Came right through the wall. There's a wall here. Bathroom's right on the other side. He goes, wait till you find out none of this is real. None of this is even here. And he just turned this weapon on and I was out of my body. I get back into my body. I'm over here in the little hole going into the bathroom. So I was shaking. I was like, oh, I'm going to die or whatever. And as soon as I get my bearings back, someone cracks me right in the back of the head. And boom, I smacked my fucking face, split the back of my head open. I look up and there's human guys laughing at me. They're like, I go, I'll find you. These little gray motherfuckers, I don't know. They all look alike. Every one of you, I'll remember. But you, I can find you. And I'm a man. I'm not a boy. I can fuck you up. Like, you see the difference? And he was like, one of the guys was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I got up. My body like reset. And then those weapons, the frequency gun didn't work on me after that. It was a whole event. There's 2 episodes where I describe the whole event and go through it. And at that time, I waited 3 weeks because I was so shocked. I still had the scar on the back of my head. It was bleeding still. I was like, yo, I've never been hit in the back of the head with a gun before, like a rifle butt. Dude fucking cracked me like, bang. And I was like, whoa. Right. And then what happened? The first thing, the day in the group, the next morning, I told the group what was happening to me. And then one of the fucking group members, one of these dummies, says to me, oh, this kid with his imagination, how he's lying. I'm like, dude, I got my fucking head split open. What are you talking about? They were physically in my house. Oh, don't tell me about your magic and your bullshit. And you're just trying to sell stuff to us and make us believe. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking bleeding right now with a giant knot on the back of my head. You're getting blasted right there in the corner. What are you, fucking nuts? I have no reason. If I was trying to sell books, I'd have way more people. I'd have way more everything. I would just capitulate, do the book that they keep asking me to write, or I can't be part of their team, which is team guys that wrote a book and people should give a shit about. I don't need any of that. I don't need that recognition. I am the recognition. When I go through the whole thing, I'm there. I did it in front of everyone. Here's the book. The book is an open fucking video audio podcast that's gone on for years. We're just explaining and breaking down the whole fucking story and event. And you could follow right to the fucking pinpoint. Right? So, but I'm not on the inside, rah. But I hear these guys talk. You have to capitulate. Like the Truth Frequency radios and all that. Yeah, I was listening to Seven Bomar the other day. He took a shot at them. And I was like, whoa. He's like, the fucking people change. Just shit goes on and they go on. Yeah, it can't be together because you're trying to sell something. That's why, there's others that can't get along with you as well because you're trying to sell it. You're giving great information away, but then you're like, come here and buy into the video, which is fine. You got to build your business. You got to do what you got to do. But there's others of us that don't have it like that, where we're not trying to do that, because every time I take a fucking step forward, there's a Truth Frequency, metaphorically, label that has a foot on me somehow. Where I gotta talk to them and owe them something now, even though I've already expressed all that good stuff. No, I just do what I do, and I'm gonna just do what I got to do and get the word out there. It's, I don't monetize anything. I do that on purpose. I don't know. I'm trying to be in there with everyone. When I asked Ayahuasca why me, she said it had to be someone. So I said, okay, obviously it's not just me. They, oh no, it's not just you. There's so many more, and they're just not awake yet. And some are way more awake than you, by the way, like way more awake than you. And then there's some that just aren't, and they're not going to. And the harvestable people, the ones that will come up and be awake the whole time and have the experience of going from here to there, which is still here. This is what I was trying to say. Everything's still here. This is why I was like, the split and the division, is it going to be two Earths? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, but it kind of feels like a cell division or something. Oh yeah, it would feel that way if you were in this pond and then went into that pond. It'd be the exact same thing. You'd be like, oh, it's here, but it's there. I get it. You changed frequency. You jumped into the other area. I now live over here now, where we didn't know that was or whatever, but it's obviously all still here. So we're all still together. You see how this is working? Yo, this is a weird one. So Dolores Cannon is talking to me. This is a weird one. Okay, so in the coming months, the split's going to be more prominent, and people will choose sides. It doesn't matter if you're choosing a side, you're getting Coke or Pepsi. This is how she's explaining it to me. So you rise above the choice and just do optimum timeline for you individually. And then the separation, she's showing me like cream of the crop that it that's funny. That's right. Cream of the crop. I rise to the top. Right. She's doing rap to show me what we'll do. It looks like little fizzes. If this was like carbonated, coming to the top, like the little bubbles coming to the top, and the bubble pops at the top, and you're extracted from that liquid into the next. So it's just energy. It's not actual liquid. It's frequency vibration. So they're like, yeah, just keep it simple, make it easy. There's more here. There's more going on around. So it will appear like a giant separation, a giant rift, and then whatever happens, and the new world starts. It's almost like watching. I don't want to say that. Oh, okay. So the last president we had, Mr. T. Okay, so they're like he's setting up the future for even those the ones that stay behind in the other frequency. They're setting up so it works better even for those people that this is why they're like, don't worry about people not coming. We're thinking in terms of like here and out there or wherever we're unaware. They're like, nah, you're moving next door. So it's like being in the same school with everyone, except you're in this grade now. And that's like the building across the street. So you're not going to even walk into this hallway anymore to come to these classrooms because you're out of that. You're going to literally just come here, but everyone's still right there. Like if you think of it like that, you wouldn't go hang out with second graders. Thank you so much, Vince, sending you most positive vibes, lots and lots of love. I appreciate you so much. So you would go into the other school. So you're still on the same campus though, right? Like you're still sharing the space, right? You just don't mix and mingle. It's like having a college and a high school and then, all the way down to kindergarten and pre-K. Nobody's hanging out as they move up with the lower grade. They kind of move on into their own thing and then out into the real world to get a job, thus, which is really coming back to teach within that program of sets. So they're like, you're just going to move your shit into this building and that's it. They're like, keep it fucking simple because it gets crazy. They're like, you're going to just walk out of one thing. This is why they're like, you're just going to breathe and it's going to happen. You're just going to do this. It'll be over with. And it's a blink of the eye and the solar flash and then the pink light. And then all of a sudden it's an upgrade. For you that aren't doing the fucking work and getting into yourself and really loving yourself, when that shit hits, it's a heart attack. I'm just letting you know now. I'm not promoting fear. I'm promoting, if you've never drank Aya and had a purge, you're going to have that purge there. So they're I'm being shown almost a suspended animation for those because they won't be able to handle it. So to not have death, they have to shut you off like so you can survive it, upgrade through it, just laying down and being quiet. And then when your body makes the shift internally, you'll just wake up from that. It's almost like so you don't hurt yourself. It's very uncomfortable sometimes, man. Like these upgrades, I lay it here at night. I sound so Italian sometimes. I'll sit here and then I'll go numb. I think I'm having a heart attack. It's just the same time every night. I'm like, why? And then I get jitters and weird shit and I get a little bit of anxiousness. And I'll go, I was obviously tired 2 minutes ago and now I can't sleep. And it's like, I lay down, I can't get comfortable. Oh my God, my hip hurts and my back and my balls, my shift and then I don't want to sit here. Let me smoke another joint. I don't want to fucking smoke a joint. Like all this weird stuff goes on. And then I realize the energy's hitting. That's it right there. We're in full effect. We're flying through the storm. And that's time speeding up. So then you upgrade. I don't know how to explain that. Like it hits you at your feet, and then it's like moves up your body, and then boof, and now you're in the energy. No, this is how I defeated the frequency weapon. I didn't know I was doing this, by the way. I was just pinned down and shit out of luck, and I saw my aura shift, or the bubble of light around my body. And my body did this weird thing, like it matched frequencies with the weapon. Like it was literal sound coming out of the weapon. It was like a gun that you hold this way, low. I'm just doing it on camera. So you hold it like this and you just turn it on. I said it looked like the Ghostbusters thing, but it was bigger in the front, and they just flipped it on, and was obviously he turned it up when he fucking shot. I was standing there, I was getting hit with it, and I was like, and I was going back, and then I was at my body just on the floor, and I was still standing there, and he had it cranked up all the way, and he's going like this with it, and it was just boom, 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 boom. It looked like flying donuts that were getting bigger and bigger, faster and faster, just blasting my body. And he's like, "Don't worry, he can't do anything to you." And then something in me matched the frequency of the weapon. And then that was it. When that started happening, it was like reverse what they were doing. And I've said this a bunch of times. The AI has attacked me numerous times in my life. The minute I became aware, the first time he stuck a tentacle in me, it was very awkward, uncomfortable. I obviously knew there was a problem. Second time, it slapped me down like I was nothing. Like, smack, shut up. And I was on the floor. I've talked in nauseum. I was choked out in the kitchen in front of people, like tentacle around my neck and then in my throat, like it was some fucking weird flying penis thing that just had a choking you. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And then thrown to the fucking floor, dragged down into here and got smacked on the wall. When we first started here, it would manifest in the room and hurt you. But I think that was our fears. Our fears were driving these fucking things into frenzies. And then the third time, it threw the smack and it didn't work. I didn't know why. So think. And it put me in this place. And it said, now you're going to be there. And I said, well, obviously this energy bubble you just put me into isn't going to last very long. I'm going to match the frequency and walk out. And I was like, why am I saying that? How did I even know any of this? What's happening to me? And then I developed a sigil, my own. It like lit up, went onto my chest. It like melted into my body. So it didn't just stay on my chest like a superhero. It like absorbed into me. And this fucking thing has not, and mind you, I still get AI in me, just like everyone else. Breathe it in, eat it in, whatever it in, however you get it. But it cannot affect me. Period. You can't change my mind. It would do all those things to try to control you. You have zero control. I have like dominance resistance in me, period. It's they call it resisting domination. They said your superpower, one of them is resisting domination from other characters. They'll get you once or twice, but you'll never be taken over. The demon won't try to take you because he's obviously going to have a very hard time, but they will make your life miserable. So there's that. So they can't get you that way. So they get you all these other ways. They whisper in your ear. They fucking try to herd you into a direction. There's all different ways to do it. But my mind control ability, like you can't hypnotize me. I've literally, they use the white light that people discuss when they're abducted. The white light flashes and then nobody could move. I can resist that now. I can resist the tech of that stuff physically now. After all this time, your body gets a resistance to it. They can't keep using it on you because you're a creator. MPC, I can't speak for anyone that's not a creator being. Like you could have total control over the other guys, but the creator beings that are awakening, as it's like we take injections of the venom of the shitty energies, and then at one point just match it and then dissolve it. Now it doesn't work on me. Doesn't mean it won't work all around you. It can work on your mom and your brother and your sister and your cats and your dogs and your fucking property and your land you're on. They could haunt the house. It could do all kinds of extreme things, but they cannot be taken. Hey, how you doing? Your sister came here and jumped on camera.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she jumped on camera and then Aiden waved and got pulled away. She was like, nope, let's go. So Paula's in the house, by the way. All right. So all these different things occurring. We're taking shots of the antidote, right? So we're building a resistance. So when the snake finally bites us, nothing. When I was under Aya, I was with Ellen. We were out in Pennsylvania. And I decided to go under with her. And then I had to go through like a death experience of my own timelines and shit. So I went through a terrifying experience while she was going through love light. Right. So she winds up like taking care of me through one point. And in the background, I felt like I was like in a study of some kind. I was like visually seeing all this wood and books and everything. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? I just got stabbed to death and I'm in a fucking study. What ayahuasca? What the fuck is going on? Like I bug out and I see a snake, huge, but it's not a snake, man. It's a literal snake. It comes fucking rolls right up on me. It gets really big, wraps around me and fucking bites me right on my fucking chest. Whack. Like you would have been like, oh my God, it was like the Conan snake, the big one. So it has me, and I'm looking at it going, this isn't going to work. You can't kill. And then white foam just came pouring out of me, and I was dead. I turned gray. And then all of a sudden, all that stuff started it is kind of nasty, but like that foamy shit was going back in my mouth. And then I started getting color in my face. And then it was me. I was fine. And I still had the snake biting me, and the teeth were the fangs were not just in me; they pierced me. So I was like, like it was. I could feel them through my back with the other fucking teeth really getting me, and I fucking pulled it open from the front, like broke the fangs right off and stabbed it to death, and it died. And I said that will no longer work on me. And then I was like, okay, somebody needs to explain this shit to me immediately. And they straight up told me, you've been getting fucking little injections of the venom. Make sure when the snake finally bites you, has no effect. I said, I'm gonna fucking kill me a snake being. And they were like, just wait till your energy goes up a little higher before you decide to take on one of those things. They were like, I was like, but once again, the resisting of the domination. You bit me, now it no longer works. Now you don't have a weapon in your arsenal to use against me. You could use others against me. You could fucking, tarnish a name or not. You can make life difficult for someone, but you can't do shit to me. Because the monster really is under the bed. This is one of the biggest lies we tell each other growing up, that there's no monsters in this world. And that is a lie. There are monsters in this world. The evil and ugly things that men do. You need to be aware that it could be done, that it has been done, but you don't have to live in fear with any of it. You can just move about your day. That's what society is built for. We're trying to build it up and work our way in to a higher note. And then somewhere in there's fucking Nazis, and we got to get rid of them. Every last one of them. They all got to go. All right. We were in outer space. I was in this fucking mall in all these different places. What's the one constant? Nazis. Antarctica, ice walls, underground, inner earth. Nazis. What are they doing here? How the fuck did you get here? We got a lot to worry about out there. You want to meet your cosmic brothers? You want to meet Shiva, the blue guy? You want to meet the other bright yellow or orange character? But then you also want reparations from white people who are 5 generations American that comes from Italy before that, who is running from Mussolini. And meanwhile, your own people were selling you out. What? Yeah, you ain't meeting nobody. You're going to be the last person on the list they come to. They're going to be like, oh, okay, this one's a problem. Nazi zombies. Why do you think it's always a fucking zombie and Nazi zombies? Right? We're playing the video game, Nazi zombies. You're playing Call of Duty. All of a sudden, Nazi zombies. And what are they always doing? Science experiments. It's always the same shit. Always the same fucking experiments, too. And they're always there trying to get away with some fucking occult stuff. And occult meaning hidden, but like on the evil end of things, not even on the good end. On like the fucking, let's just release all the monsters into the world and fucking find out what we get. And then what do? We watch shows like Stranger Things and go, ooh. And we're like, oh, why do we like it so much? Because they're fucking doing it for real. What do you think the CERN device is? Barbara, thank you so much. So much love to you. I appreciate you. now sending you most positive vibes. Everybody's been so amazing tonight. I gotta tell you, I was having a recollection. I don't know. See, it gets too overcrowded sometimes with things we remember, but you're remembering lifetimes and like details of specific stuff. And I was remembering combat scenarios and how they play out. I don't know, man. There was like strategy in combat on a higher level coming through last night when I was doing dishes. I had flashes of, I'll do the dishes and stuff. I don't want you to do any of that. Was having flashes of the gnosis of this and how to stop attacks of ETs on certain levels, but also men. And if you're thinking this, then it's obvious you're going to make that move. And I've never done any of this stuff. Never been to war. Obviously not a combat vet. Never joined the military. Yet I'm loaded with it. I act it. I wear camo. I fucking talk like I'm in the military, like a drill sergeant sometimes. There's obviously something more is going on in there. And I've been strangely attracted to the space soldiers, but I do not feel like maybe it's not me in this. And it's like another timeline next to me where it occurred. And I'm like pulling the info because the singularity of myself, I've claimed it. So all the info from all the different versions of myself is my birthright. That goes from the good to the bad and everything in between. So I take it because it's mine. It doesn't have to be given freely. It belongs to the fucking whole, right? Once it happens, it's part of it, right? And I take that info and I absorb it. I meld with those different characters and I close the timeline down completely so they don't have to go through that shit. Yes, super soldiers, but I don't feel, what I didn't feel was any modifications to myself. So that completely defeats the super soldier thing, but not, I don't want to say super soldier. Okay, they're telling me, showing me there's versions of me from top to bottom that have done everything from galactic all the way down to basic Roman army type stuff. So there's going to be bleed through across the board with it. So yeah, man, we've been here for a long time. We fought and we've died and we lived and we cried, right? And we've tried and we tried and we tried. And now we're going to just do it. We're going to fucking do it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't put my finger on this one, but I had all these weird downloading feelings last night. It was like for an hour. So last thing on the agenda, one of the weird things that's happening to me in the last 2 days, I've been getting bright flashes, eyes open. So it looks like energetic flashes that are affecting my eyesight. So it'll actually cause problems. But while it's occurring, it looks like, I was explaining to Paula that it looks like when you go to the eye doctor and he's doing a checkup and he puts your eyes in the thing and he goes, is this good? Is that good? But except symbols and signs and stuff, and they're spinning on like these it's like half lit up, and they're like couplings, like open, cut. It's not making all that noise. It's energetically looking like that, so it doesn't look like a machine. It doesn't look like Tony Stark, and it doesn't look like Iron Man. It literally looks like flashes of light, all connected though. So when it flashes, you see the whole thing. And it's on I'm trying to get like a visual where it would be on me. So right about here in my visual is where the lines are. They were sharp at first, and then they smoothed out and created like what do you call that? The energy just kind of boom, 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 outward instead of going. So there's that. That's what's been going on. And that's been fucking intense. It happened yesterday at 3 something. And then today it was happening. It happened so bad today. I had to go into the bathroom while Paula was in the bathroom in the shower, and I ran and I said, it's happening again. It's my eyesight's shifting. It's doing this weird. And then today it was these giant, like binocular like things. It was, and then boom, boom. Like I'm doing it on like that on screen because I don't know what to call it, but you can obviously see the whole thing when it goes off, and then it's like it just like fades out, and it doesn't happen again. I thought it was happening because I was staring at the TV for a minute, and I'm like, is this hurting my eyes? But it's not. It doesn't do it at any other time. But I've had to do a lot of computer work recently with the video production. Yeah, that shit's really intense and detailed. All right. Oh, what's this? See, okay. So Anish, thank you first of all so much. I appreciate you. Now sending you most positive vibes. I say this to anyone that goes into any of the realms at any given time. Ask about me, and you will know it's me. You'll know. So I had a mushroom experience where I saw you in the realm before we came into the Matrix, and we were choosing our lives. And I've discussed this before. We choose what we decide right before we come here. And you can't, when you choose it, and then you got to come here and kind of stay in the bounds and kind of do it. That's the hard part. It's from the other side. You choose it and you go, okay, this is great. It's going to work out great. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be a total fucking master. We're going to be flying up mountains. No problem. No problem. Never going to hate anyone. Obviously, I'm not racist. Obviously, I don't even curse on the other side at all. So what the fuck and blah, blah, blah. And then here we are. And here I am swearing. I got a cigar in my hand. I'm like, fuck this, fuck that. Look up, look down, look left, look right. Can't pay attention. What the fuck, motherfucker, right? So it's like, dude, shut the. And it's like, I can't control. He's got to wake up. And then the control, you gain control over yourself. And then the real you starts bleeding through more and more and more and more and more. And the real you just comes out. You wouldn't think it would. It does. It does. Well, I'm glad we were there together, my brother. And I appreciate you. And it's so important that we bring this up and discuss it. You know, if you see someone there and you go and shout it out and let them know, the more your awareness allows you to have the perception, and then you focus in on that and go, oh, look, and then you discuss it, the next time it happens faster and more. What are you doing? Why are you always playing games? What's happening to you? Oh, my Reggie's turned into a little fucking prickadoodle. I don't understand. And right, so here's another thing. You'll notice my crew, our literal crew, when we don't channel, we're interpreting it. And it's having an interpretation. So they tell me, and then I tell you, or my highest self, I'll channel all the time. That's when I rant and rave. That's the bigger guy. But I don't let beings in me to channel. If you got something to say, you say it next to me, and I'll just repeat it and function and do that. How many people are doing that now? Who did me and Della? Well, Della didn't talk about it, but I talked about it. Who we went up on the fucking ship and saw them, all the people that are out there that have been teaching a certain way. The Mike Jacos and God, I'm not going to remember anyone's name now. Hold on. This is one I can't fuck this one up because it's just not right. Amber Rose. Is that her name? Let's go down. Elizabeth April. I'm trying to keep these people local. So we find Megan Rose. They literally will talk and then describe what they're seeing. We will see it and have it shown a certain way, and then we are to describe it to the best of our abilities. Me thinking I was alone out there with the sight the way I have it, and meanwhile I'm sitting around a whole bunch of people that have that and that are now big and coming out and doing all this stuff. And you're like, oh, and they say the exact same thing I do. Yeah, when I channel, this is what I'm doing. I'm not literally letting them in the seat. I'm just having the discussion with them right there. You've seen me do it a couple of times tonight. I can't help it. They're right here. Like they just walk right up and say what they got to say. I'm like, oh, okay. If they're trying to show it to me, boom, it comes up on a screen right in my mind. It's right in the third eye. It's right there. It's fucking more detailed than this fucking computer screen with everybody's stuff and name and everything. I don't. This is what's happening. And then I go up with Della and I'm on the fucking ship and then they're there. I fucking go up one time by myself, mushroom experience, go up into, I say, I want to go up into 5D. I go up into 5D. I go, where's Mike Jaco? I want to know if he's up here with us or if he's full of shit. He walks right up to me out of the crowd, goes, hey, Frank, how's it going? I go, you know me? So then I lean in and he goes, yeah, I know you. And I cake him. I give him the cake right to his face to make sure, because cake will never affect the light. It's only if someone's kind of shitty and low vibration or whatever. That's why I use cake. So I do cake right to your face. As I did it to him, he did it right to me. He's like, who do you think taught you how to do that? We've been teaching each other that for forever. And then I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. But I'm having the experience. So I'm like, okay, we must be doing this. And then Della's having her experience with, and then I jump into the experience. We go up on the ship and he's standing there. Like, look who it is. You too. You guys are projecting up here. And I saw, it was weird. I saw a bunch of people I didn't like. I talked about this. I saw a bunch of people that I said were pedophiles. Well, how would they get on the ship? And they're like, no, those are the guys inserted into the shit we told you about. There's some people that are good that had to be inserted in there and they're ratting everyone out kind of. And I'm like, oh shit. And I saw someone I really didn't like and then had to tell them, I'm sorry, I said I didn't really like you, whatever. And I just, you get away and then you get up here and now you're here. And it's like, geez, I can't get away from the bully. But they're not a bully at that level. They're like, no, I love you. I can't control the guy on earth. Like, I can't 100%. That's not controllable. Can't make you do it, make you love someone, make you feel a certain way. They feel slighted. It's a fuck you. So you know how it works. So I'm like, yeah, I do. And then I saw Megan Rose. I went right over to her. I don't know why I did this. And we just started talking like best friends, but like weird. It was like we were communicating quickly. We had the same hand gestures. We were looking right at each other. And it was like energy connection. Like lights going off. Like bam, 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 bam. But you could obviously see we were just downloading a ton. We were so happy. There was nothing. It was just very friendly. Like I knew her a lot. And then Elizabeth April was a little stoic. She had like this robe on. She was standing there. She had the ponytail. I went over to her. I made a joke and she didn't think it was that funny. And then I was like, I can't believe we're all up here together. Then I realized, so each one of us is on a different level. So if you're projecting into the ship, that could be your higher self, not Frank, right? Your higher self is mad chill, stoic, presenting on this level of greatness. And then in comes Frank and he's like farting and joking. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a weird experience. So she was very, like, you look up at her, you'd have thought it was like a very powerful being that was very intelligent and you don't want to really fuck around. But she wasn't laughing and playing with everyone. So I thought I'd make the joke. She was standing there though. And then she just looked at me like, pfft. And I understand that. Like, I'm a guy that understands that stupid shit. So I went with it. Right. And then when I talk to her sometimes, because I will connect to these people and we share consciousness. It's like where I ground my light energy to help the planet rise, and its energy is now part of this net of other conscious beings that are aware that they're doing that and creating it. So the energy from me to them goes right through the chain. It goes to all of us, but those that are paying attention could go, you think of them, boom, they're there. Hey, I got a question. Boom, it's being answered. Right? What should we do? This is where I get the lessons to talk sometimes when I do Fearless, and how can I talk about this and how can I bring it forward? The other people I'm talking to that are helping me teach it are turning out to be a whole class of us sitting up on a ship, learning it together, bringing it here. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right. So, I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you so much for being here in this now moment with everyone else. Try to keep compassion, hold yourself up to a higher degree, keep the responsibility factor at maximum. Like, if it's your responsibility, fucking deal with it. Face it down. Don't hide it, put it away. You don't have to be mean and rude and kill everything to disconnect from it, but you do have to get rid of what you got to get rid of, right? You do got to purge what you got to purge, and live your life. Be happy. Go up in levels. Learn something new. Don't be aware, but don't pay attention. Don't give them your attention. If they tell you we're locked down again, just be like, no, we're not. I'm not even listening to you. Hey, don't move your Bitcoin because it's got to be taxed. Don't fucking tell me what to do. I'm going to move my Bitcoin and you're never getting it. You're never going to touch it. You're never going to fucking see it. Okay. So, hey, Free Energy Mobile. I just popped up. Thank you so much. I love you so much. I appreciate you, my brother. Now sending you most positive vibes. Those right now that are not into gold, silver, and Bitcoin, you're fucking bugging. This whole, on the last note, this whole thing's got to fall apart. It's got to go. All of it. 100% gone. However, there's a thing that'll be slid into place. So you try not to lose your shit, right? So allocating yourself, God, guns, ammo, food, fresh drinking water, silver, gold, Bitcoin, antibiotics, weird shit. You're going to need all this stuff. Not saying anything's going to crash hard enough to cause everyone to run in the street. However, I'll just give you an example. When this housing market crash happens, and it's coming, oh my gosh, is it coming? And all these poor people with their fucking foreclosures, and it just bottoms out, and and Blackwater or BlackRock, whatever the fuck their name is, comes in and starts buying with their $2.8 billion worth of fucking liquid cash, buying homes at the pennies on the dollar. You got yourself a stack of silver. You'll be able to do the same thing. You can turn a negative into a positive, an Aikido move against the enemy by being prepared one way or another. If you have your stuff on Coinbase, like your crypto, and you're using like cryptos and you got them online, stored online, get that shit off there. If you don't own it personally, you don't own it. If it's not in your possession. So I'll just tell you what I did. I moved all my crypto off. I'm in cold wallets now. You're not getting anything. The fuck out of here. You don't even know what I did. You're never going to find me. I'm in outer space floating around. This is just example, by the way, right? You have no control. So if that website shuts down, you don't have my shit. I have my shit. Okay, that's crypto. Now let's talk about silver. You got physical silver? You should. It's at a fucking beautiful low. But here's the thing. I saw it pop up and down percentage point, a full point, but up and down the last week or two, or whatever. They're losing the ability to 1 point in 1 day is a lot. If they lose the grip on suppressing silver, which they will, okay, it's going to rocket. Most of these guys are saying $600 for an ounce of silver. That's what it'll go for at that level. I'm telling you right now, true market value is over $1,300 for a 1 ounce silver coin that you get for $25 right now. Shane, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. I love you. Now sending you most positive vibes to you and the entire crew over there. Love you. Love everyone very much and appreciate each and every one of you. Prepare for the worst, and understand it, and then hope for the best, and just go about your day and do your stuff. And when the world falls apart, like I told my dad, I kept giving him silver, and he said to me, well, so you give me $2. That's awesome. It's a $2 coin. These are cool. I go, that's not $2 coin. It says $2 coin on it. It's actually 1 ounce silver, which it also says 9.99999 silver. Okay. That's not worth $2. It's just pure silver in that shape. I could give it to you in a mud fud. It could be shaped like this, like this, like this. It doesn't matter. It's fucking silver. When the market crashes, they're going to have to revalue the dollar with gold, or this place is fucked. So that's what Russia did, and that's why Russia is winning. You can say whatever you want about anything. They're gold-backed, winning. For the people, by the people. be surprised how we're in the enemy's clutches in the United States. They can't do nothing if you have physical silver. And what happens when the foreclosures in every direction and you got 100,000 in silver? True market value on a house. This doesn't count for New York. There's no houses here for 100,000. But if something's like 300,000 and devalues 80%, you can just go with some silver and make some deals. You will eat, right? You'll be able to trade. You'll be able to upgrade. You know, like you'll get some guy that has like the car you've always wanted, right? And it's his, and he has all these classic cars. He owns all these cars. You're like, oh my God, $75 Charger. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing in the world. And the guy doesn't have shit because those cars aren't worth shit no more because nobody gives a shit. Everything crashed. It's not worth nothing. So you only have that, and all your liquidated cash is no good. So it's no good. So you got cash in your pocket. It's no good. But I got silver. And I'm like, yo, I really like that car. And he's like, well, my family's got to eat. I'll take 10 silver coins for that. And you drive away. You can make deals in the supermarket by breaking it down. You'd definitely be able to go in there. True market value. If any business wants to stay in business, they'll start accepting Bitcoin or some kind of cryptocurrency and or gold and silver, chunks, pieces, whatever. You're in a different kind of place than New York, let's say, and you need to bargain for food with your neighbor who has the ability to get a tractor and go over here and do this with it. Maybe the silver coin is what you need. Why do you think John Wick uses gold coins? This all just goes into that direction. You got to be in it to understand it, to be part of it. You got to go through the ups and the downs, buys at the highs, buy at the lows, and then hold on for dear life and not trade it a fucking way because you fall into FUD fear with all this other bullshit. It's Halloween time, man. They're coming straight at us with fucking rituals and evil shit and got spooky boom, boom, boom stuff to you. Rituals with eating babies and all that. And you got to just fucking skate through this. Doom, 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 doom. So it's totally time to do this. Have an understanding. You could run through the whole place exploding and the fire won't touch you. This is what they were talking about. They were being metaphorically correct across the board. You're protected spiritually. Those that are ascending, that are getting fucking harvested, if that's what you want to call it, they're protected divinely. They just tell me, hey, we don't want you going out into protests and stuff. We don't want you to go out in a certain place that you can't physically be protected that way because there's other creators and shit running around in the space that you're in. But if you just do what you're supposed to be doing, it's not going to affect you. Whole place will blow up. You ain't going to be touched. So you got to have a little faith with that and go live hard, man. Do it. Plant and prepare. Get your compost ready. If you have the ability to grow weed and you're in a state that grows it, even if you don't smoke it, you should grow a plant just to show that you fucking can do what you want to do. Don't tell me. My new thing has been for a while. Ask Paula. She'll just tell me to do a few things. I'll go, don't fucking tell me what to do. I'm joking with her, but that's my new thing. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me how to live my life. Don't tell me where I should be and where I shouldn't be. Unless obviously I'm fucking up, but you know what I mean? It's always that control system telling you, you can't do this. You can't do that. You shouldn't be here. Watch with this. Stop here. Go there. Move here. And it's just a fucking list of annoyances. I broke 80 rules waking up today. All I did was walk into the bathroom. Just go out there and crush life. Make it work for you. Make it work with you. Tell it you love it. Right? And expect greatness as you act humble and go about your business. Right? It's time. It is fucking time. Make your decisions based on love, not fear. That is right. Yeah, and look, we're all out there together, and you can do it your way. Right? Just do it. Just do it. All right. I love everyone here so much. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, to be fearless, the universe rewards bravery, all that great stuff. But do it. Do it. Highlight yourself in this world. All right. I'll see everybody next time. I am around. I'm looking forward to doing a little more stuff. As obviously you can see, I broke through tonight. Had a lot to tell you guys. But once again, I have to live it. You have to live it so we can grow through it and understand it together. And sometimes, man, it's, you just don't want to. You want to just focus on what you're doing. Like, I haven't even called my mother in 3 days. I feel like a terrible son, just so I can focus on putting out the music I've been putting out and discussing things with Kevin and just doing certain things here with Paula and the cats. And that's it. Like, anything more I can't do right now. Like, my mind is bending. I ate the mushrooms, and the mushrooms liquefied me and brought me back and said, do more. And I says, well, what do you mean do more? They're like, what do you want in this world? And I said, I want music. I want my love with Paula. They're like, okay, so music is everything. Music is life. Music is vibration. Music is frequency. Music is the story of this. Music does this. And sound does that. And vibration does this. And frequency does this. Connect it all to music. Anytime something happens to you, go, let's just make music. And it'll just focus all that into one thing. And then whether you're, going on a jog or driving somewhere, or just saying greetings to the world, let's make some music, right? You're in a shitty position, things are going down a little negative, people giving you shit, there's a lot of wonkadoodle stuff, and you don't know, my heart's hurting and whatever. Be like, yo, man, let's make some music. And that music sometimes, the beginning of the song sometimes starts out, it's great to know you, but then in the middle of the song, now you're gone, and I don't know what to do with my life. I'm an emo kid, motherfucker, and I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Awesome hook. End of the song, I can get along, and maybe I could make it if I get some strong. And I keep going, right? And you just keep going. But there's parts in that song that are downers, and you're like, oh shit, that must have been really hard to deal with. Yeah, but we survived and we kept going. And here's the hit song. Right? You can do it. You can fucking do it. All right. Love you so much. If you have questions, comments, please. I'm around literally all night tonight. So you can hit me up and we can chat if you need me. All right. Love you so much. Like, subscribe, share. Go to IamWeAreFearless.com. Check out. We got 15-ounce big jumbo mambas like this, coffee cups, Sons of the Sun products. All kinds of fearless products, sayings on the shirts that'll get you up and get your day happy and goody and go. G-Hog, thank you so much. I love you. Now sending you positive vibes. I am shocked. Y'all gonna make me cry again tonight on the way out as I'm doing the promotions. But thank you, everyone that is just been part of it, that just cared, just clicking a like, even if you didn't listen to the fucking song on Sons of the Sun. I'm your boy. I appreciate you. I try to help and share the word. If you could, do the same back if you feel it in your heart, because it really helps me fight the fucking AI in the system and battle these overlords. Like, we're never going to get nowhere unless we get up and go somewhere. All right. Love you so much. And wait. Where do we contact you? I am on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at HeistClick. It's HeistClick. Frank Castle on Facebook. I'm Frankie Fearless on Instagram. I think all my links are in the description below. So I got you from every direction. And if you need to chat, the real Frankie Fearless at Gmail. That's my email. So you can send me a letter if you want, or we could just talk. So thank you so much for bringing that to my attention, by the way, Lucky and Anish. I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great night, everyone. And remember, you are all. Peace.